23 هذا مقبل.
Since when do watermelons peel?
Thank you for tuning into another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from Bigfoot with a cloaking device to a volcanic eruption like never seen before. Ready? Let's jump in. Starting today's episode, we got a clip that reminds me of the Cloak of Invisibility from Harry Potter. This time, however, there are dogs involved. Take a look. You might probably be wondering what's happening here. Allow me to explain. A man was out with his dogs when they picked up the scent of something or someone and went after it. Here's the thing though, while the dog chased after whatever it was that they had picked up, the man couldn't see anything. He found the behavior odd and started to record. He thought his dogs were out there just being crazy and spoiled. That's at least until whatever they were chasing pushed back. At that moment, the man was startled, confused, and a little scared. Who can blame him? Did you see anything or anyone? No, right? Fortunately for him, he had captured the whole thing on camera. Whatever was behind the movement was not seen again. He had to retreat with his dogs because he felt it wasn't very safe. On his return home, he watched the clip over and over and over, but just couldn't place his finger on what he was dealing with. He uploaded it online and many theories came up. Some thought it had to be a cloaked alien exploring the woods. Some also thought it might be a Sasquatch that had found a way to cloak itself. Others also thought it might be a paranormal or otherworldly entity. Looking at it, it could be any of these things. My team members say if you look hard enough, you can see a humanoid creature in the clip. You guys have seen the clip too, so what do you think?
هذا مقبل ولد 14 حرام له 23 مخطط.
This was allegedly discovered in the desert, but for the many war movies and games I've indulged in, I would have thought this was alien. It, however, looks like an unmanned aircraft or drone. It was found by ordinary folks who recorded and uploaded their discovery online. You would have expected some government to claim it at this point in time, but no. At the time of making this video, whoever uploaded it stated that no government had claimed ownership of what it is, which is odd. No military likes to lose their toys, which makes this odd. But do you also know what militaries dislike the most? Their actions being exposed to the general public. What if their drone was on a secret mission when it crashed? If that's the case, it would make sense that the military would delay acknowledging it's theirs until they had their story straight. That being said, many think that this is a US drone. If that's the case, they might not have the clearance to operate in the airspace of Yemen. This might explain their hesitance to claim ownership, but then again, those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think?
23 هذا مقبل ولد 14 حرام له 23 مخطط.
Have you ever seen a plant do this? By that, I mean light a match. In the video, you see a hand placing a cup of water under the hanging fruit. Then a match is held above it, and surprisingly, the match lights up. To demonstrate further, the hand plucks the fruit into the cup of water, and when a match is held over the water again, it lights up once more. When I saw this, my mind was blown, but Julius, being our in-house scientist, was not convinced. He spent about 15 minutes analyzing the clip and came out with a working hypothesis. The clip is fake. Well, not 100%. Everything you're seeing is happening as you're seeing it. The thing, however, is this. The clip is in reverse. Take a critical look at the clip again and you will realize this. Whoever came up with this idea was brilliant. But imagine that there was actually a plant that had this superpower. Would you consider it a natural wonder or a danger and threat? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. There are a lot of things out there in nature that we have yet to discover, and sometimes they might seem mystical when we are uninformed. Take a look at this footage, for instance. I don't know where the footage was taken, but you can see that they are in a place with these intriguing stone structures. Now, they lodged a spoon between one of the large rocks, and something astonishing happened. The spoon began to bend upwards as if some unknown force was moving it. They repeated the experiment with another spoon, and the same thing happened. I was shocked when I first saw this. However, after checking the comments section, I came across an interesting explanation. One commenter wrote extensively, but the term that stood out was Tibetan singing bowl effect. This phenomenon occurs when vibrations cause objects to move in unexpected ways. Tibetan singing bowls, when played, create sound waves and vibrations that can cause objects to resonate and even move. It's possible that stone structures may be amplifying certain vibrations, leading to the spoon's movement. If that's the case, then this is a fascinating example of how natural forces can sometimes create seemingly mystical effects. Either that or this clip is somehow manipulated. Which do you think is most likely? Let us know in the comments section. Moving from the dry and rocky areas, we move on to something rather wet and aquatic. Take a look. In this footage, a man was at the coast when fishermen were offloading their catch when he spotted something strange. A group of men on a boat carried out a huge creature. At first, he thought it was just a large fish, but then they placed the creature on a stretcher, giving him a clear view. Yes, the creature was a fish. At least it had a fish tail, but the upper part was unlike anything he'd ever seen. It looked like an alien, like humanoid. Its head was very large and its skin was extremely pale, almost white. The creature had its eyes closed and lay there lifeless as the men surrounded it, examining it closely. When it comes to mermaid sightings, the internet is mostly divided. Some videos and photos appear very cartoonish, resembling costumes or edited footage, while others look incredibly real and lifelike. So looking at this footage, what do you think? Are we dealing with the real deal, or is this just another elaborate hoax? I've always held the view that there should be a limit to adventures, but maybe that's just me being spineless. Take a look at this bone-chilling footage shared by an adventurer who went into the woods to explore an abandoned building. The trip was cut short when they saw something terrifying. From one of the windows, the person outside filmed a creature standing inside the house, pressing its face against the dirty glass. The creature had a thick, heavy face and pale skin. Nothing human about it as it stared menacingly at the person outside. It was like a scene from a horror movie, and the adventurer wasted no time running away. What could this creature be? Some say it could be a ghost or a paranormal entity, while others speculate it might be some unknown cryptid. Whatever it is, it's enough to make anyone think twice about exploring abandoned places alone. Next, we move on to a strange footage that was allegedly captured at the Nicaraguan cathedral. The video shows a winged creature climbing up to the top of the cathedral and then flying off. The one who uploaded it believed he had captured a gargoyle. Originally, before the fantastical interpretations, gargoyles were animal carvings placed on buildings, mostly cathedrals and other sophisticated structures, serving as water spouts to direct rain away from the buildings. Beyond their practical use, they also had spiritual significance and were believed to serve as guardians, protecting the building from evil spirits. According to legend, these statues could come to life. But when you look at this footage, it seems a bit too cartoonish to be a real gargoyle. The movements and appearance of the creature don't quite match the stone-like ancient feel we associate with gargoyles. Could this be a hoax or some clever CGI? Julius seems to think so. Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, thinks it could be real. Personally, I'm on the side of Julius, but you guys let me know what you think. You would be amazed at the number of weird things that have been found on Google Maps. A TikTok user was snooping around the map, zooming in on some green lands, and there in the middle of the woods was this, a large, hairy creature standing there. The creature looks about 8 feet tall with an ape-like appearance. Did this person just find Bigfoot on Google Maps? The figure is visible and distinct enough to make one wonder if it's the elusive creature so many have sought for decades. The sighting has sparked a flurry of debate and speculation online, with some convinced it's genuine evidence of Bigfoot's existence and others skeptical, suggesting it could be a prank, a misidentified animal, or simply a shadow. What do you think? There are a number of questionable things that have been spotted in the skies, from oddly shaped crafts to strange lights. Another phenomenon that has caught attention lately is the emergence of strange-looking objects resembling jellyfish. Take a look at this footage. 2 of these jellyfish-like objects are seen moving about in the sky. These things look like dark shapes as they drift and float, almost as if they have a life of their own. Now, some may argue that these objects might be balloons, but take a closer look at their fluid organic movements. Unlike typical balloons that float aimlessly or follow wind patterns, these objects seem to move with a deliberate and eerie grace that's hard to explain. Could this be the real thing, or am I just seeing things that aren't there? On the border of Minnesota and Ontario, Canada, a man was on a snowmobile ride with his brother and their guide when they came across something extraordinary.
My feet.
Not even close.
Up and over. Up and over. Up and over.
There's what it takes a human to get through.
Up and over. Up and over. Up and over. In line. Perfectly in line every step.
They discovered huge tracks in the snow that they reported had stretched for 3 miles. These tracks were unlike any human or animal tracks. They were deep, huge, and bipedal. The tracks appeared to have been made sideways, and you could clearly see the print of the toes in the snow. They were impressively large.
I don't know why. All the steps in line. Look at it. Who would? Boom. Boom, right in front.
This footage was taken back in 2012, and the brothers believe these tracks were made by none other than the elusive Bigfoot. The sheer size and unusual formation of the tracks have led many to speculate about their origin. Could these tracks be the definitive proof of Bigfoot's existence, or is there another explanation, such as a rare natural phenomenon or an elaborate prank? Share your thoughts.
Across the branch. To balance. Oh, look at this. Big toe. Here we go. I can't even move through this. Something's going sideways across the branch. This way.
The number of questionable things people encounter when it comes to food is very alarming. Take a look at this.
Since when do watermelons feel like that?
A woman went to buy a watermelon in the supermarket and, to her surprise, discovered something shocking. The deep green color of the fruit came off like a sticker. Have you ever seen a watermelon do that? The color just peeled away, revealing an unnatural appearance beneath. This doesn't look right, and certainly doesn't resemble a mature, natural fruit. It looks like something that was made in a factory, not grown on a farm. What could be the reason behind this? Is it a fake watermelon made with artificial materials, or could there be another explanation, such as a protective coating applied during transport that inadvertently came off? If you work in this industry, please enlighten us in the comments section.
Since when do watermelons peel? Where the part that? Huh? Where this part? Since when do watermelons feel like that?
Now look at those juicy lips. This fish has more sex appeal than most of us humans. Just look at those thick, luscious lips. This intriguing creature is called the triggerfish. Triggerfish are known for their vibrant colors and unique physical features, but their prominent lips are what really catch the eye. These lips are not just for show, they're adapted for their diet, helping them to crush and eat hard-shelled prey like sea urchins and crustaceans. Despite their alluring appearance, triggerfish can be quite territorial and aggressive, especially during breeding season. So while they might look appealing, it's best to admire these juicy lips from a safe distance. Believe me when I say you won't enjoy a kiss from them. That all sounded a bit creepy. A homeowner was woken one night by the doorbell ringing. When they looked through the window, there was no one there. They waited until the next morning to check the security camera footage and made a chilling discovery. In the video, a thin, glowing line was floating in front of the door. The object moved in a very intentional manner, and when the bell rang, the object seemed to pulse in rhythm before floating away. At first, people suggested it was a spider web. However, upon closer inspection, it became apparent that this was no ordinary web. One commenter proposed a fascinating theory, that this was an invisible cloak that interacted with cameras. If true, it means someone could have been using advanced technology to give the homeowner a ghostly scare. But what do you think this mysterious object could be? Next, we have another chilling encounter shared by a homeowner retrieved from the home's backyard security camera. In the footage, we see a woman taking her laundry from the drying line. Suddenly, she starts to look around as if she hears something unusual. Her movements suggest that she was spooked, but we can't see or discern what it might be. As the woman hurriedly leaves the area, we make a bone-chilling discovery. Below the fence, there's a hole, and through it, a pale head is sticking out, intently watching the woman. Now we understand why the woman was acting so strangely and quickly left the scene. But what creature is this? It certainly doesn't look human. Could it be an animal, a cryptid, or something more sinister? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. The amount of alien footage on the internet would shock you, with sightings and encounters coming in various shapes, sizes, and colors. Take a look at this particular footage, for instance. The video shows an alien-like creature lying on a bed, only its gray head and shoulders are visible. The creature's large eyes shut and its mouth slightly open, looking lifeless. Human hands are poking at it, but it doesn't budge. The eerie stillness and the almost lifelike appearance of the creature add to the mystery and intrigue. Some commenters suggest that it's a movie prop, noting the detailed craftsmanship that makes it look so realistic. Others think it might be a doll, perhaps created for a hoax or as part of an elaborate prank. The lifelessness and the way it's being handled make it hard to tell if it's something genuinely otherworldly or just a clever piece of art. With the advancement in technology, creating realistic-looking props and effects has become easier, making it even harder to distinguish between real and fake. So what do you think? Is this a genuine lifeless alien, a carefully crafted movie prop, or a cleverly designed doll? Check out this new invention from Germany and let me know what you think about it. This innovative smart pen developed in Germany is quite an intriguing piece of technology. The pen connects to a mobile device and is then placed in the mouth. Using bone conduction, it transmits sound through your teeth and mouth directly to your skull, allowing you to play songs that only you can hear. It's certainly a novel piece of tech, leveraging bone conduction to create a private listening experience. However, I'm not sure I would enjoy walking around with a pen in my mouth all the time. It might be convenient in certain situations, but it seems a bit cumbersome for everyday use. What do you make of this invention? Would you get one, or do you think it's too unusual to be practical? Let us know your thoughts. Back in 2022, a Chinese telescope was observing Mars when it captured something extraordinary, a disc-shaped object floating above the planet. The object resembled the typical flying saucer often depicted in UFO sightings. The big question is, what exactly is this object? Is it an alien craft, or is it just one of the drones that are being deployed on the planet for exploration purposes? With the increasing number of missions to Mars, numerous drones and rovers are constantly being sent to study the Martian surface, making it possible that this sighting could be explained by one of these human-made devices. On second thought, I doubt any craft from our planet would have such a shape, so there are two possible conclusions here. Either the clip is fake or we've got an alien situation on our hands. A man visited the Kachina Woman Rock in Arizona and made a truly eerie discovery.
Okay, so this whole thing had kind of been confusing at parts. A minute ago, I started taking a video of a rock that was chipping, and it shouldn't chip like that. And then my Shakira was over here, and she's beating on this stuff, and we realized that this chips like a plaster, and it's like a hollow sound compared to the...
As he knocked on the rock, he noticed it produced a hollow sound. Now, this is particularly strange because the rock is made of sandstone, which doesn't usually make such sounds. The hollow sound means there is some sort of space inside this massive rock. While some people are convinced that this is just a natural occurrence and nothing unusual, some in the paranormal community believe there's more to the story. They think there might be something else down there occupying all that space. Perhaps it's a passage to Hollow Earth, an underground secret facility, or something even more mysterious. I did some research though and discovered sandstone can have a hollow sound under certain conditions. This typically happens when there are internal voids or cavities formed during its geological formation, through processes like gas bubble entrapment or mineral dissolution. Sandstone's porous nature, with interconnected pores between grains, can also contribute to a hollow sound when tapped. Additionally, surface weathering, biological activity, or human activity such as quarrying or construction can create cavities or thin shells over large voids within the stone. In other words, his explanation was wrong. What do you think?
Beating on this stuff, and we realized that this chips like a plaster, and it's like a hollow sound compared to the real rock. Look, there's a perfect scene.
Next, I came across this bizarre footage that left me scratching my head. It was recorded by someone who had found a ring tangled in the roots of a tree. This has to be one of the weirdest things I have ever come across. How did the ring get there? Was it purposely placed there, or did it just fall and accidentally get stuck in the roots? Or is this some sort of spiritual or cultural practice? If there's anyone who knows anything about rings in tree roots, please share your thoughts in the comments. This mystery has got me really curious. Now let's dive into a fun fact. Did you know that there are animals that seemingly do not die of old age? One fascinating example is the crocodile. These ancient reptiles do not have a finite lifespan in the ways many other animals do. Instead, they continue to grow and live for an incredibly long time, providing the conditions are right. Crocodiles don't die of old age. They continue to thrive and grow bigger year after year. The primary reasons that they die are due to illness, starvation, or being killed by predators or humans. Under optimal conditions, a crocodile can live for decades, showcasing nature's remarkable design. I found this fact astonishing and quite incredible. Did you know about this? It certainly adds a new layer of intrigue to these formidable creatures. A homeowner shared this haunting footage of a pair of glowing eyes staring through his window one night. According to him, he had suspected that a dogman, a cryptid said to be part man, part dog, had been lurking around his property for some time. He never had the chance to capture it on film until one night when his dog stood at the window barking aggressively. Curious and alarmed, he went closer to check, and that was when he saw it. A pair of glowing eyes staring right back at him. The creature, whatever it was, didn't attempt to enter the house, it just stood there staring. The eerie glow and the intense gaze sent chills down his spine. Given the unsettling nature of the encounter, I think this man needs to move, don't you think? What would you do if you found yourself in a similar situation? Someone shared this intriguing footage taken during a walk through the woods. High up in the tree, amidst the leaves and branches, is the outline of something. It appears to be moving, but whatever it is seems almost invisible, blending perfectly with the foliage. So what could this mysterious entity be? Is it some type of invisible cryptid lurking in the trees, stalking the hiker, or could it be a person using a cloaking dress or advanced cloaking technology to camouflage themselves? The idea of an invisible cryptid is fascinating and aligns with numerous folklore and urban legends about creatures that can blend into their surroundings. On the other hand, cloaking technology, though mostly a concept of science fiction, is increasingly becoming a topic of real scientific explanation. Take a look at the footage and share your thoughts. Are we witnessing a cryptid with extraordinary camouflage abilities, or is this an example of advanced human technology at work? A couple was out one night when the woman noticed something strange in the sky. There was a patch of clouds glowing in eerie orange, and in the middle of this glowing patch was a thick vertical line. What could this be? Is there something behind the clouds that's causing this unusual reflection, or are we witnessing something otherworldly? The sight left both of them baffled, and they managed to capture it on camera. The glowing clouds and the mysterious vertical line have sparked a lot of questions. Is it a natural phenomenon, some kind of atmospheric event, or perhaps a glimpse into something beyond our understanding? You've seen the clip as well. Let us know what you think. If you're a jumpy person and you're watching this alone, consider this your heads up. Take a look at this disturbing footage. A woman is sitting all alone at home in a living room. There's no one else around, and when she glances at her reflection on the TV screen, she sees something chilling. There's a person right next to her. What in the world is going on? How can the reflection show someone beside her when there's clearly no one else in the room? Is it an invisible housemate keeping her company? This woman must be incredibly brave, because if I were in her place, I would have bolted out of there the moment I saw that reflection. But the question remains, who or what could that second reflection be? Is it a lost loved one, a ghost haunting the house, or something else entirely? The possibilities are both eerie and intriguing. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Next up, we've got today's bonus segment. This footage comes to us from the rugged landscapes of Spain. While exploring a dense forest, a hiker unexpectedly encountered a loud and eerie growl emanating from the depths of the woods. The origin of this unsettling sound remains a mystery, and the hiker was left both puzzled and unnerved. Today, our task is simple. Can you identify the roar or grunt at the end of the video? Before you say no, remember, the best answer to this question gets the opportunity to be featured in our next episode. If you believe you've got the answer, simply let us know who or what is responsible by typing its name in the comments section. Begin the answer with bonus and we'll be sure to find it. May the best man or woman or alien and possibly cryptid win. Do you believe we live in a matrix or some sort of parallel universe? If you didn't, this next clip might make you question our reality. A girl was taking a video walk, capturing her peaceful surroundings, when something truly bizarre happened. Out of nowhere, two girls emerged from behind her, but they hadn't been there from the beginning. How is this even possible? It's almost as if they teleported to their spot. What's even more perplexing is that the two girls didn't seem shocked at all. They walked nonchalantly as if this was a normal everyday occurrence. To add to the mystery, no one else around seemed to notice anything unusual either. What could be the reason for this? Is it a glitch in reality, an optical illusion, or perhaps something more profound? Share your theories and observations with us in the comments section. Also, are you a believer in the Matrix yet? This giant fish had washed ashore, and you can already make a wild guess where the rest of its body is based on the massive bite marks covering it. Oh, the ocean really scares me. Just think about the caliber of fish that have caused this kind of damage. Even this head alone is bigger than the 3 men holding it up. Imagine how much larger its predator must be. The sheer size and power of whatever creature took a bite out of this giant fish are truly mind-boggling. The ocean is home to some incredible and terrifying creatures, and this serves as a stark reminder of the mysteries and dangers lurking beneath the waves. This was all I wanted to say about this video, but Julius thinks there might be something more at play here. He believes that a propeller could have done the damage due to the nature of the cuts on the fish's skin. For the first time in a long time, I'm challenging Julius's stand. Who do you think is right? Myself thinking it's a giant fish, or Julius thinking that a propeller might be responsible? This chilling footage was captured in an underground garage. A couple was standing there when a glowing ring appeared out of nowhere. The man, curious or perhaps drawn to it, steps into the ring and vanishes instantly along with the glowing ring. The woman, witnessing this astonishing event, immediately runs off in a panic. What could this mysterious glowing ring be? Is it a portal to another dimension, a wormhole, or something else entirely? The footage is both fascinating and unnerving, leaving us with more questions than answers. That's what I'd love to say, but if this is true, why wasn't it reported? And if it was, why wasn't this clip ever made public? So many questions, yet little to no answers. Anyway, what do you guys think? It looks like we're getting closer to the futuristic tech we see in sci-fi movies. The latest innovation, the world's first screenless laptop, the Spacetop GI. This laptop comes with built-in augmented reality AR glasses that project a virtual screen, making it feel like you're working on a 100-inch display without the need for a physical monitor. Imagine having a massive workspace that fits in your backpack. The Spacetop GI runs on Space OS, an operating system designed just for this device, ensuring everything runs smoothly. It's powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon QCS8550 processor, so it's got plenty of power under the hood. With its sleek and modern design, the Spacetop GI is all about boosting productivity in a visually stunning way. Picture yourself setting up a massive digital workspace wherever you go, all with a lightweight laptop and a pair of AR glasses. The Spacetop GI is set to hit the market in October with a price tag of $1,700. Would you consider getting one? The concept of living in a matrix or a simulation has long been a matter of fascination for many people. Questions arise, such as who is controlling this matrix? Is it real or just a figment of our imagination? Check out an interview with Billy Carson on a podcast about the Matrix.
We're in a simulation, and you said they just found evidence of it? As they began to learn through the LHC, the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, colliding these atoms and particles together, they discovered we're living in a matrix. And then Professor James Gates took it another level and said, wow, we are living in a matrix because he discovered these symbols by the Dogons called Adinkra codes. And these Adinkra codes, when you take them from flat print and take them into three-dimensional objects, they're mathematical codes. But not any type of mathematical code, they're error-correcting codes. The same type that run search engines and web browsers. And that is what he discovered is running the ether of space-time itself. So we have his expert analysis with his team that he put together, that we're living inside of a matrix running on error-correcting codes like our search engines and web browsers. We have the LHC confirming that we're living in a light matrix. And we also have then the double slit experiment confirming in superposition. Everything exists in multiple realities as a wave of potentials until a conscious observer collapses it into solid.
So Carson mentions that the Large Hadron Collider, LHC, in Switzerland has confirmed the existence of a light matrix in which we are living. Moreover, the double-slit experiment also supports the idea of living in a matrix. According to him, Professor James Gates also confirms that the Adinkra codes could be used to prove this theory. Now, these sound like bold claims, but anyone who knows who Billy Carson is won't be too surprised. After all, he's the founder and CEO of Forbidden Knowledge, Inc., and the best-selling author of The Compendium of the Emerald Tablets and Woke Doesn't Mean Broke. Is there some credibility to what he's saying, though? Well, I'll leave that up to you to decide.
This with his team that he put together, that we're living inside of a matrix running on error-correcting codes like our search engines and web browsers. We have the LHC confirming that we're living in a light matrix, and we also have then the double slit experiment confirming in...
On April the 8th, an eclipse occurred that brought about a lot of speculation and theories, some of which were quite intriguing. One particular case that caught the attention of many was the footage that a man shared.
I'm sitting in my house, right? You see me make a video of somebody or something in the sun. It's a clear day. It's after April the 8th, after the eclipse, so I'm coming out here.
The video was captured on April the 12th, a few days after the eclipse, and featured the sun shining brightly. However, the peculiar aspect of the video was that behind the sun, a strange figure was visible. The figure appeared to be a person walking behind the sun. The video raised many questions and left people wondering what was going on up there. As soon as the footage was shared in the paranormal community, a lot of people dismissed it as a hoax and made fun of the whole situation. However, a few people were still pretty curious about what this could be. It was in the midst of this confusion that the theories started pouring in. One theorized that we may be in the fourth dimension. According to him, this has slowly been happening since 2020. One of the most popular theories, however, was that the whole thing was nothing more than an illusion created by Project Bluebeam. Those who pushed this theory had one lingering question. What could be the motive behind such a projection? This is a question no one had answers to, so Bluebeam Tech, a shift to the fourth dimension, and a possible hoax. What's your pick? The eerie atmosphere of a school after hours takes a chilling turn in this unsettling footage reminiscent of scenes from the It movie. The diligent custodian enters an empty classroom to tidy up, only to encounter a peculiar and disconcerting sight: a red balloon seemingly out of place among the others scattered across the room. As the custodian goes about his clearing duties, an uncanny occurrence unfolds. The red balloon appears to follow him with an unnerving precision. While the other balloons remain stationary, this solitary red orb exhibits a calculated movement as if possessed by an unseen force. The whole situation feels so strange that it makes you wonder. Is this just a weird accident, some crazy physics thing, or is there something supernatural going on with that balloon? And the fact that it looks like those creepy red balloons from Pennywise, well, just makes it even more unsettling. Farms are mostly targets of wild animals because of the abundance of meek prey that cannot defend themselves, especially when the farm is closer to the woods. In this footage, a farmer was filming her animals when she noticed something strange in the woods behind the animals. A big, shadowy creature hanging out in the woods right behind the animals. It's moving quickly, giving off this kind of stalking vibe, and then just like that, it vanishes into the dark. The farmer, watching all this go down, starts thinking maybe this isn't your everyday predator. The idea that it could be some paranormal creature starts crossing their mind. Encounters like these fuel speculation about the presence of mysterious beings in the vicinity of farms. While it's challenging to draw definitive conclusions from the footage, the eerie and elusive nature of the creature is very convincing. What do you guys think? The The sky has been a subject of fascination for humans for centuries. Despite the numerous sightings of strange objects in the sky, there are still some more sightings that continue to get viewers in a frenzy. Take a look at this particular one. This peculiar cloud with flashing lights was spotted in North Philadelphia. The unusual mass descended from the sky and vanished behind a house in the vicinity. That's definitely not how clouds are supposed to act, and the sighting quickly gained a lot of attention and even made it to Fox and ABC News. It, however, appears that this was not the first time people had seen this. Many people in the comments section also testified to seeing this strange cloud falling out of the sky at other times within the same area. There were even some from other parts of the world who claimed to have seen it in their regions too. Others had a range of opinions about what this could be. One commenter suggested that this was a drone cloaked as a cloud. Another commenter was convinced that this was a UFO. He even made a subtle argument that the flashing lights were evidence of extraterrestrial activity, and countless others agreed with him. Despite the evidence and buzz around it, a number of individuals in the paranormal community think the whole thing is a hoax meant to throw the community in disarray. You've seen the clip yourself. What do you think? The creature looks like a frog, but with the ability to stand on two legs. Its movements are similar to a bird as it perks up every few seconds. At first glance, anyone would be lost as to what the creature truly is. After a little digging around, and with a lot of help from the comments section of the original post, I discovered that the creature bears a striking resemblance to the mythical Murloc from the Warcraft series. The Murloc is a fictional creature known for its amphibious nature, savage behavior, and primitive society. These creatures have bulbous bodies, large mouths with sharp fangs, and slimy skin. According to Wiki of the creature, they primarily inhabit coastal areas and come in a variety of colors, with some resembling frogs or fish, while others resemble red-eyed tree frogs, as is the case with the creature we are currently observing. In Warcraft lore, Murlocs are hostile creatures that often attack travelers and settlements in large groups. They're known for their distinctive gurgling sounds and are feared by many in the game's universe. Now, how does a fictional game character suddenly come to life in our own? No one really knows, unless, of course, the writer found the creatures, spoke to no one about them, and decided to use them for his own militaristic purposes. Either that or this clip is definitely CGI, but as I always state, until we have enough evidence, nothing can be disproved, despite how ridiculous it looks and sounds. What do you think about the whole thing, though? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
Listen, that'd be crazy. Hold on.
Alright, picture this. It's 11 p.m. in eastern Oregon, and this guy is strolling home minding his own business. But suddenly, he's hit with this bizarre symphony of laughter echoing from the woods.
It's actually gotten closer since it started.
We're talking hyena vibes mixed with a dash of doggy humor. And get this, it goes on for a solid 20 minutes, with the laughter gradually getting closer each time. Now, some folks are throwing around theories like it's Bigfoot throwing a comedy night in the forest, while others are whispering about possible skinwalker shenanigans. But truth be told, nobody's got the scoop on what exactly is going down in those woods. The mystery of Bigfoot sightings continues, and this trail camera footage adds another piece to the puzzle.
Did she ever have any stories?
I've never.
In the photo, the creature is captured in motion, revealing its dark fur and a stance that distinguishes it from known animals like bears or gorillas. The fact that it appears humanoid in posture has long been a hallmark of Bigfoot sightings. While the image provides a tantalizing glimpse, the elusive nature of the creature persists. The dark fur and upright posture align with descriptions commonly associated with Bigfoot encounters. However, the lack of a clear facial view or additional details leaves room for further exploration of these elusive beings. As enthusiasts and skeptics alike scrutinize the image, the quest to unravel the mystery of Bigfoot persists, with each sighting contributing to the enduring allure of this enigmatic and mythical being.
Well, you may have seen it earlier tonight, a mysterious sight in the sky. In the last couple of hours, our newsroom has been flooded with messages asking,
Humans tend to be highly observant beings, especially when it comes to phenomena that we cannot explain. This is particularly true when it comes to sightings of unidentified flying objects or UAPs. Recently, there was a lot of buzz around strange lights that were spotted in the sky over the United States. Many people were convinced that this was evidence of an alien spaceship, a UFO, or even a rocket launch. Naturally, this caused a great deal of concern and unease amongst the general public. To address these concerns, experts were called in to investigate the mysterious lights and provide an explanation. Thankfully, it was revealed that the lights were not what they seemed. They were the result of the launch of Starlink satellites by SpaceX. The strange appearance of the lights was due to a phenomenon known as the twilight effect. When a device is launched into space, it reflects sunlight from the other side of the atmosphere that still has light. This creates an ethereal, otherworldly appearance, particularly during twilight hours. So the strange light observed in the sky was not an alien spaceship or any other kind of unknown object. It was simply a satellite launched by SpaceX. Thankfully, we can rest easy knowing there was no cause for alarm or concern. What do you see when you watch this clip? For many, it might be a reptile or dinosaur-looking thing, but for those in the Scottish Highlands, this might just be the real-life footage of the Loch Ness Monster. For those unfamiliar with it, the elusive creature, often described as a serpent or dragon-like beast, is said to inhabit the deep, murky waters of Scotland's Loch Ness, the largest freshwater lake in the British Isles. Legends and folklore surrounding the existence of this mysterious creature have been passed down through generations of Scottish culture, with sightings and encounters dating back to ancient times. In fact, the first written account of a sighting of the Loch Ness Monster dates back to the year 565 AD, when a missionary named St. Columba claimed to have seen a water beast in the lake. Since then, countless reports and sightings have been recorded, with witnesses describing the creature as having a long serpentine body, a large head, and often a pair of humps protruding from the water. Reverting to the clip, a number of individuals who saw it stated there was no way it could be real. An example is this comment. The user points out something critical they observed. The creature's front fins don't disturb the water. I didn't notice it before, but after going back to watch the clip, I must say that it does look like a hot knife going through butter. It almost looks unreal. If the concerns of the commentator are to be believed, then this certainly is a reason to believe that the clip might indeed be doctored or simply put a CGI creation. But then again, perhaps my skill in cinematography might be lacking. Has this been the only sighting? Well, not exactly. In April of 1933, a couple reported seeing an enormous creature crossing the road in front of their car near the loch. This sighting sparked widespread media attention, and soon afterward, numerous additional sightings, including eyewitness accounts, photographs, and alleged film footage purported to show the creature, were reported. In the decades that followed, numerous scientific expeditions and investigations were launched to study the phenomenon. Various methods were used, including sonar surveys, underwater photography, and DNA analysis of the loch's waters. While some studies yielded inconclusive results, others suggested that the reported sightings could be attributed to natural phenomena or misidentification of known animals. Despite this, the legend of the Loch Ness Monster continues to captivate the public's imagination, and the mystery surrounding it remains unsolved. This next footage features a quiet night in the Swiss woodlands and a lone man braving the darkness. Suddenly, eerie screams pierce the tranquil air, resembling the haunting cries of children. The unsettling sounds send shivers down his spine, and a wave of fear washes over him. Faced with this chilling scenario, the man, too terrified to investigate further, retreats to the safety of his home. Now here's the question: what would you have done in such a spine-tingling situation? Would you have summoned the courage to venture deeper into the mysterious forest, or would the instinct for self-preservation have guided you back to the comforting glow of your home? Above all, what do you think he stumbled into? Child abduction, or did he encounter spirits or malevolent beings like skinwalkers who were just trying to take advantage? Share your thoughts with me in the comments section. Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode, do skinwalkers commonly take the forms of dogs? What would you do if you entered your compound and found a dog in your home, especially when no one owns one? You'd freak out, right? That's exactly what happened to the individual in this capture you're seeing. Now, this isn't why we are starting today's episode with this very one. Our reason involves a skinwalker. Would you believe me if I told you that skinwalkers are rumored to take the forms of dogs? In the place where this image was taken, skinwalkers are common according to the natives, and they like to take the form of dogs since everyone owns one or at least feeds a stray. Taking this form is safer for them as no one would suspect a thing. There are times, however, when they want you to know they're skinwalkers, probably to threaten you. The uploader of the footage believes this is one such time, which is why she never entered the apartment until help came. Once help came, they entered the apartment and found nothing. At least that's how the story goes. What do you think? While one type of light has been explained by experts to be a satellite launch into space, I doubt if that is the same explanation for this. These strange horizontal streaks of light were captured over Mauna Kea, an inactive volcano in Hawaii, on 28th of January 2023. They looked like green lasers coming from the sky onto the Earth. Many who saw it saw a Matrix reference and didn't hesitate to point it out. And there seems to be several people who have made claims of seeing these lights before. However, after much speculation, an explanation was finally given from one of the unlikeliest sources. Experts at the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan, which co-owns the camera, announced on Twitter that the source was a radar device of an orbiting satellite known as ICE-SAT-2, which is owned by NASA. These reports were soon refuted by NAOJ themselves again on the 6th of February. They apologized and said that based on the trajectory, the source of the laser beam was unlikely NASA. This was confirmed by Dr. Martino Antony Jr., a NASA scientist working on ICE-SAT-2 Atlas, and his colleague Dr. Alvaro Ivanov. They did a simulation and suggested that the potential source is the Chinese Daqi-1 AEMS satellite's ACDL instrument, Science Alert reported. Now, there's a lot we can say about this, but I'll leave it to you guys. What do you make of the information I've presented? Is there something fishy going on here, or could it just be information and misunderstanding between some of the top minds in the world? What do you guys have in mind when you think about creation? Mostly people link creation to their religion. Most religions believe that there is a God who made all this. Others also believe in the Big Bang, evolution, and a whole lot. During an interview, this man gave an interesting take on how humans were created. Take a listen.
I saw one guy that was like, I referred to him as the keeper of the DNA. Somebody way up the ladder in the Galactic Command Center that had a vault of DNA. And so they'd go, We got a planet that's this far from the sun, the gravity is this, the oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen level is this. And he could take DNA off the shelf and say, okay, we'll make a creature that will live there, and then they'd introduce it. And that was his job, to have the mixture for the right conditions, or to create the conditions on the planet, terraform the planet. That guy moved me when I was looking at him. I got real emotional, like, wow, this is very powerful. I'm really...
Did you hear that? So this man is a remote viewer. For those who may not be familiar with the term, a remote viewer is someone who practices remote viewing. Remote viewing is a technique that involves using extrasensory perception to gain information that is not accessible through normal sensory channels. It essentially allows a person to see or perceive things beyond the physical limitations of their body. To do this, the viewer uses various techniques to enter a relaxed or altered state of consciousness, such as meditation or visualization. On one such trip, this man says he meets a man in the Galactic Command Center who has a vault of DNA, including humans, and made us fit the resources that Earth has to provide. Now that is an interesting take on creation, unless of course you don't believe in the ESP stuff and think he's basically just daydreaming.
I saw one guy that was like, I referred to him as the keeper of the DNA.
Now, we know that by seeing this footage, you're already confused and wondering what that is. Would you believe me if I told you that the uploader of the footage believes it's human? According to the uploader, this is a 30-centimeter human being that was discovered in the city of Ilam, Kurdistan in Iran. Now, the original post was in Arabic, and we tried our best to get translations of it, yet there was not much we could gather other than the fact that we were looking at a 30-centimeter human being. While information and news about occurrences happening inside Iran is scarce, I doubt a discovery like this could be kept under wraps if it was true. But then again, those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Please share in the comment section. Here's a spooky tale for you. Two friends having a chill night on the beach when things take a mysterious turn. So there they are, just soaking in the tranquility of the night, maybe unwinding from the day's stress, when something caught their attention. It was enough to make them both snap around and, without a second thought, bolt away in sheer terror. What caused this panic? A strange, pale creature emerged from the darkness, quietly making its way toward them. This humanoid figure had long, eerily crooked legs and arms that dangled oddly. Picture something straight out of a horror movie right there on the beach with them. No hesitation, those poor guys hit the panic button and zoomed out of there as their lives depended on it. Watching this clip, I can't blame them. Can you? In this next clip, a bird farmer is seen entering the enclosure of her birds to check up on and possibly feed them. As she steps inside, all the birds start running around, chirping and flapping their wings. Suddenly, something strange happens. All the birds freeze in place as if time has stopped. The only bird that remains unfazed is the one in the middle, who continues to peck at the food in front of it. Just look at that, all frozen in time. But could this be a glitch in the Matrix, or what do you think? Let's see what people had to say about it. There was one common explanation between people, and that is, this is a normal thing among birds to be frozen in time when they sense danger. According to experts, when birds sense a threat, they go into a state of shock, also known as tonic immobility. This response is a survival mechanism that helps them avoid being detected by predators who are less likely to attack prey that appears to be dead. In the case of the bird farmer, it's possible that the sudden appearance of their owner caused the birds to react this way. However, it's also possible that they were reacting to something else entirely, such as a loud noise, a sudden movement, or even a predator. We can't, however, state with certainty what it is without any more evidence. Now, what do we have here? A dry, dead fish is brought back to life by a drop of water. What sorcery is this? Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the zombie fish. Not zombie in the way of eating brains, of course, but the ability to spring back to life. This fish is what many call the suckermouth catfish or pleco. These fish are found in ponds and rivers in South America and have an incredible ability to survive in extreme conditions. When their natural habitat dries up, they bury themselves in the mud and go into a state of suspended animation known as aestivation. During this period, they can survive without water or food for several months. Their metabolism slows down to the point where they require very little oxygen and their body becomes dehydrated, as you can see in this footage. But they don't die. When the rains come and their habitat is reflooded, the fish rehydrate and come back to life. In this case, the fish was responding to the drops of water being poured on it. It might seem like a miraculous resurrection, but it's just their fantastic ability to survive extreme conditions. The vast and mysterious ocean has long been a source of fascination and fear. In this footage, we're confronted by what I can only describe as a mysterious sight. A colossal creature whose immense size is only confirmed by the tumultuous whirlwinds it stirs within the sea. The thunderous sound accompanying its movement add an ominous undertone to the unfolding story. As speculation ensues among the passengers, the question lingers. Could this be a sea monster, a creature of myth and legend, or does a more rational explanation exist for this marine anomaly? Two guys went into this creepy place and found something totally out of the ordinary. Inside this mysterious structure, they spotted a weird hole in the wall that hid who knows what. Feeling curious, or maybe a bit mischievous, the guys chucked a rock into the darkness. And, surprise, surprise, something unexpected happened. A creature jumped up, spreading its wings in a defensive move. The noise it made wasn't your typical bird soundtrack. It was more like a hint that it was not an ordinary creature. The men, now scared, ran off as fast as they could, leaving us to wonder what creature that was.
The state of Florida looked up into the air this morning to see a bright light streaking across the dark sky. Was it a plane?
Still on strange lights in the sky, we visit Florida, where a streak of light was seen in the night sky. It was a bright orb in the center with a beam of light diverging into the sky. It was quite the spectacle that also sparked a lot of frenzy and chaos among the residents. Once again, experts came to clarify that this was just a rocket being launched. However, people were not very convinced, and this is what they had to say. Many called it fake news. The majority were convinced that this could all be covered up for something nefarious going on there. One comment, however, got my attention, and it read, "Aren't rockets supposed to fly vertically, not horizontally?" Now, that's a good question, so I looked it up and it turns out, not really. This is because launching vertically allows rockets to efficiently escape Earth's atmosphere, which requires a significant amount of thrust. However, once a rocket reaches a certain altitude and velocity, it can adjust its trajectory to move horizontally if that's what the mission requires. Another person argued that if there was indeed a rocket launch, there would have been some form of announcement. We can't confirm if there was or not, but what do you guys make of these theories and speculation?
You say hi? No? You don't want to say hi? What was that?
A woman and her child were walking on a trail when they heard a loud shriek that seems to come out of nowhere. The child, who was sitting on the ground, even heard it and began to crawl away. In another encounter, a hiker on a lonely trail heard a strange shrieking sound that started from a distance but kept getting closer.
And I keep hearing that same scream. Here it is again.
The suspected cryptid? The Skinwalker. For those who don't know, Skinwalkers are a fascinating and mysterious part of Navajo legend that has captured the imagination of people worldwide. These creatures are known for their mischievous behavior and their ability to transform into any animal they desire. They're also known to be dangerous, and it's said that they can cause harm to those who cross their path. According to Navajo tradition, the only way to kill a skinwalker is with a bullet dipped in white ash. Despite their fictional origins, many people believe that skinwalkers are real, and there have been numerous sightings and encounters reported throughout the years. Some people claim to have heard strange sounds in the woods, such as loud shrieks and eerie howls, that they believe are the calls of skinwalkers. Others have reported seeing shadowy figures lurking in the darkness or even encountering animals that seem to possess an uncanny intelligence and an otherworldly aura. While some people are convinced that these encounters are proof of the existence of skinwalkers, others are more skeptical. Some argue that the sounds captured on camera could be the calls of ordinary animals or even fake sounds created to attract attention.
It's definitely not a bird or some kind of animal.
Talk about stumbling upon the holy grail of Bigfoot evidence. In the aftermath of a heavy snowstorm, a dedicated group of Bigfoot enthusiasts stumbled upon a remarkable spectacle. There were imprints of large feet, footprints that exceeded the size of an average human foot by 2 or 3 times. As they carefully examined the prints etched in the snow, a fascinating revelation unfolded before their eyes. The sheer size of the footprints varied, suggesting the presence of not just one, but potentially a family of these elusive creatures.
Yeah, I mean, the foot is melted away to make it look bigger. But look at the top of these right here.
Yeah.
Here, 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 and then it was the whole hill.
And let me ask you something.
Here, whole hill.
If you're looking down at these, do you know something different about this grouping?
There's a small one and
There's
a big
small one and a big one.
Some imprints were notably smaller, hinting at the possibility of a youngling walking alongside its more massive counterpart. Imagine this. You're casually grabbing a bottle of water from the fridge and bam, it turns into ice as if you've got some secret superpower. How cool would that be? Stop imagining. It happens in the next clip. Unfortunately, scientists have an explanation for it. So the deal is that the water in the bottle gets supercooled in the fridge, meaning it stays liquid below its usual freezing point. But the trick is not to mess with it, no opening the cap or shaking the bottle. The moment you do that, it's like a magic spell breaks and the water freezes right before your eyes. However, skeptics hold the idea that this is simply a glitch in the Matrix. Since everyone is entitled to their opinions, let us know in the comments section what you also think this is. The vast and mysterious ocean is considered one of the largest unexplored territories on Earth and is home to a plethora of conspiracies and creatures that remain unknown to man. One of the most popular and captivating mythical beings that the ocean is said to host is the mermaid. These magical creatures are often depicted with the upper bodies of humans and the lower bodies of fish and have been a part of human folklore for centuries. Puerto Rico, a beautiful coastal area, is no exception to this. It has its collection of mermaid legends and folklore which have been passed down through generations. Known as sirenas in Spanish, these stories may vary across different regions and communities, but the allure of mermaids remains a prominent feature of Puerto Rican folklore. In this footage, a group of people who were out fishing had an extraordinary experience. As they were on the surface, they noticed a blue glow in the water close to their boat. The glow followed them for a while before they noticed the silhouette of a human-like creature in the water. Although this sighting was different from the unusual mermaid sightings, it has left many people convinced it's the real deal. Some even suspect it might be alien. But what do you think? The owner of a mechanical shop was reviewing his surveillance camera feed when he noticed one of his workers standing outside and talking to thin air. The worker appeared to be having an intense conversation, which understandably made the owner feel uneasy. So he decided to call the worker to find out what was happening.
Estoy revisando por la cámara del taller Y este maestro está hablando solo. Le voy a preguntar por cámara qué está haciendo. ¿Aló? Oye, disculpa, pero ¿con quién estás hablando? ¿Tú me estás hablando del accidente de anoche? Claro. Juan, me estáis huellando, ¿cierto?
No, pues estoy con don Carlos aquí, pues.
Es que no estáis hablando con nadie, viejo.
No puede ser, pues yo tengo el caballero aquí al frente mío, pues.
No estás hablando con nadie, Juan, y ayer los que chocaron murieron todos. Juan, no estás con nadie. Sube y ven a ver las cámaras. Tengo todo.
Yes, you heard that. The worker said he was talking to a customer who had an accident the previous night. At first, he even thought it was a prank, but the employee mentioning the accident made him realize that the person from the accident had died. After watching the video, I was curious and investigated whether anyone else had experienced something similar. It turns out a number of people have. Take a look at this confession. I believe it because the same thing happened to me in a cemetery. I was visiting my sister's grave who died at 16 years old. The cemetery was empty. Then all of a sudden, a man dressed in a suit and tie appeared out of nowhere. He looked alive, nothing spooky about him, and he told me he worked for the church and took care of the cemetery. We spoke about my sister's grave and her passing. I found out later that the man was indeed a ghost that many knew about. Another person stated, had this happened to a friend of mine on camera outside of the Sears automotive section. Said on the team radio that he'd run into a lost little girl needing to find her family. He walked from outside to the inside to the security area, the whole time holding his arm and hand out like he was holding the hand of a child. When he got to the security office, he told her to have a seat while the security team showed him some footage. Beyond shocked, he turned around to notice the child had completely vanished. He quit his job a few weeks later. These accounts are both chilling. While some may be skeptical, these stories are hard to ignore. What do you make of it? So picture this. I'm chilling at the park, just soaking in the vibes, right? Then out of the blue, I see something weird happening across the street. I grab my phone and start recording, and you won't believe what I caught. That's the story of the man who recorded the footage you're seeing. If you pay attention, you'll see that there's this ghostly figure decked out in a robe casually strolling down the street like it's the most normal thing in the world. The eerie part, it's like it's taking the most cautious steps ever, making the whole thing even spookier. I'm telling you, the vibe went from chill park day to a full-on ghost hunt. The figure, draped in that mysterious robe, turned the street into something straight out of a supernatural flick. And yeah, those deliberate slow steps tell me you've seen something creepier. Now I'm left here wondering, what's the deal with this ghostly character? Is it on some ancient quest, or did it just take a wrong turn in the afterlife? It's a wild mystery that's got my brain buzzing. Next, we have another cave expedition with a mysterious twist. Let's dive into the intrigue. Venturing into the depths of a cave can lead to unexpected encounters, and this footage shared by a group of explorers proves just that. In the shadows of the cavern, a peculiar being emerges, a figure draped in dark robes with a ghostly pale face. The tension in the air is palpable as the men in the footage react with a mix of fear and fascination, their whispers and shushing underscoring the eerie ambience. Now one can't help but wonder, is this yet another encounter with a jinn? What's your take on this encounter? Could it be a guardian spirit, a trick of shadows, or something beyond the realms of our understanding? Share your thoughts. Still on strange water sightings, we've got another one, but this time in the waters of Mexico. This spectacle was captured by a couple who were walking on a boardwalk by the shores of Veracruz. What makes this incident more peculiar is that residents reported that they wasn't just the first time this had happened, making it even more intriguing. It's highly unusual if this is a natural disaster, as it is not naturally possible for such an event to occur. A whirlpool appearing and disappearing at will. Could we be looking at some sort of portal or some sort of scientific experiment going on in broad daylight? It's possible that this couple happened to be at the location at the exact same time when the entity responsible for this passage opened it. It looks like a scene from a sci-fi movie. If you thought a car on water was amazing, wait till you see this. Imagine a bus that could run on a nuclear reactor. That's exactly what this bus is. But as much as I wouldn't want to burst your bubble, the Cyclops is a fictional vehicle made from the 1976 movie The Big Bus, and that's all there is to it. This remarkable mode of transport was designed to travel across the country without ever needing to stop for fuel. Just think about the possibilities. The Cyclops could have changed the way we travel forever with its revolutionary technology if it were real. A nuclear-powered bus would have been a game-changer in the transportation industry, offering a cleaner and more efficient way to travel. Unfortunately, the Cyclops only exists in the world of fiction. Nevertheless, it's fascinating to think about what could have been if this incredible vehicle was made reality. Perhaps someday, someone will create a real-life Cyclops that can revolutionize the way we travel. This picture was taken by a backpacker, and let me provide you with a little backstory on what you are seeing here. A girl and her friend had gone backpacking on a trail in the mountains. As night fell, they grew tired and decided to camp on the side of the trail. After setting up their tents, they went to sleep. However, in the early morning around 5 a.m., the girls were abruptly awakened by footsteps signaling the presence of an intruder. One of the girls felt the footsteps stop right in front of their tent, prompting her to unzip and confront the intruder. To their surprise, it was a man who appeared disorientated. When asked about his intentions, he mumbled that he was looking for his friends. The girl sternly told him off and retreated into her tent, hoping the strange man would leave. When the girls woke up the next morning, they saw the man sleeping on the ground beside their tent, having spent the night in the open. The girl then captured a picture of him. The man woke up, took his backpack, and left. Weird, don't you think? Could it have been a homeless man? Is someone trying to hurt them, or a spirit of the forest? A woman is chilling at home with her dog, thinking everything is normal when suddenly she hears some strange noises coming from one of the rooms. Now, being the brave soul she is, she decides to investigate. Little did she know her whole reality was about to somersault. As she cautiously makes her way to the source of the noise, she's probably expecting a raccoon or maybe a mischievous cat. But oh no, it's way weirder than that. She finds her dog not on all fours like usual, but standing upright on 2 feet. And that's not even the jaw-dropping part. The two-legged dog has figured out how to operate doors. Yeah, you heard that right. It opens the door like it's just another Tuesday afternoon, and when it spots the human, it swiftly shuts the door as if to say, "Nothing to see here, move along." Now the woman is left there screaming at the closed door, her jaw probably somewhere near the floor and wondering, was that my dog?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
She's convinced it's a skinwalker. I mean, come on, how does a regular dog master doorknob turning and door shutting? It's like your everyday pet crossed into the Twilight Zone. Unless you can prove that your dog does similar, I may have to go with her hypothesis. On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you, so please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Human beings are known for their insatiable curiosity, and although there is a popular saying that goes, "Curiosity killed the cat," it seems that people often fail to abide by this cautionary advice. In this particular instance, there is video footage that showcases this curiosity, where a man enters a glass structure in the snow to explore. If the video is here, then you know that it didn't go so well. Shortly after, a polar bear approaches the structure to inspect it. The bear is not merely observing, but also clawing and attempting to bite through the glass to get to the man inside. However, to everyone's surprise, the man appears to be unfazed by the bear's behavior and continues to remain inside the glass structure. One comment that caught my attention read, "Lunchbox isn't opening." My favorite comment at the end of the day is this particular one. I mean, what if? Clones have been one of the most talked about conspiracies when it comes to government cover-ups. It's a popular belief among the masses that the government creates clones of people in high positions for reasons unknown to the public. Additionally, there are also claims that celebrities are cloned as well. Now, I know you might have come across this footage several times, but let's revisit it. For those who don't know anything about it, this was taken during Katy Perry's concert in Las Vegas, Nevada. In the clip, we can see that she's on stage staring at her audience while they cheered. This iconic moment is, however, interrupted by her eyes glitching. One began to open and close uncontrollably like you typically see with a broken Barbie doll. Realizing this, she touched her temple ever so slightly and the twitching stopped. This is not normal human function, and people had a lot to say about it. While many insisted she had to be a clone, there were some who thought she might be unwell. One user pointed out the possibility of stroke, but a lot more subscribed to the idea of her being a clone of the original. Now, what do you make of it? Was this a genuine case of human cloning, or is this something else entirely?
Make even more noise for my band.
Trail cameras have been very effective in capturing candid moments in the wildlife. However, a Trailcam owner was shocked when she retrieved her device, and instead of animals, she was met with this. In the photo, you've got two women in the buff crouched down in the middle of the forest, totally absorbed in some mysterious thing on the ground. When you zoom in, you'll notice that there is a dead deer. The scene gets pretty eerie because it looks like these women are up to something unsettling, like they're having a feast on the lifeless deer. The bizarre nature of the scene has sparked speculation and theories. Some folks are throwing around the notion that these might be witches up to some kind of ritual, while others are floating the possibility that these figures could be skinwalkers. You know, those mythical beings from folklore known for transforming into animals and humans. What do you guys make of the situation? Before we move on to the next video, just another reminder. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. I wouldn't want to send that Bigfoot after you. And don't forget to share with your friends and family as well. Thank you very much. We all know that trees have life, hence they reproduce, grow, and die. Sometimes it's even hard to believe that they're living because they're so inanimate and look lifeless, but this footage will change your mind. In Maryland, a person passing by stumbled upon a truly bizarre sight. Trees seemingly on the move. It's the kind of thing you might expect to see in a Harry Potter movie. The trees, instead of standing still in the forest, decide to take a stroll, making their way from the woods to behind a building. The footage goes on for minutes, adding to the surrealness of the scene. Now, as whimsical as this looks, there are debates about what's going on. Some folks are sticking to the idea that the trees are moving, while others argue that there might be a hidden logger behind the house cutting and relocating the trees, creating the illusion of them moving. Since the person in the video didn't get closer to investigate, it's a bit of a head-scratcher, leaving us to wonder about the tree-walking mystery. If you've made it this far, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment? If you haven't already, it goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. While we ponder the reality of that video, we still have things to figure out, like this footage, for instance.
We're either being surrounded by friggin' UFOs or the Coast Guard. I want us in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lights we see there. They've been coming on. They were 7 lights.
In this intriguing story, a fisherman's adventure at sea took an unexpected turn when he captured some mysterious footage on his camcorder. The footage shows the beautiful orange horizon as the sun sets, and the camera pans to the distance where a red light is seen. The fisherman then zooms in to capture a closer view, but the footage becomes shaky and unsteady. Suddenly, the camera cuts to a view of more than a dozen of these red lights in the sky, which the fisherman claims to be UFOs that have been trailing his boat for a while. While this man's account of the event is fascinating, the footage is not clear enough to identify what those lights were. Despite the fisherman's claims, some were skeptical about the encounter. Some even registered their frustration about the clip being from afar. One even suggested that they should have moved closer to allow the ships to get near enough for a good shot of the ship. That has me wondering, in what world is that logical?
The car is in the middle of the lake. And there are people in the car.
Technology is advancing at an incredible pace, but who would have thought? Cars driving through lakes and rivers? Amazing, isn't it? The person filming the car was taking a hike when he chanced on a family in a car that was in the middle of a lake. At first, he thought the car was sinking until he noticed how calm the people in the car were. The car is called the Yangtze River N8, or simply U8, and it is an electric vehicle made in China. The U8 has a limited ability to sail on water, and this feature is primarily intended for emergencies such as flash floods or unexpected water crossings. The U8 is equipped with 4 water propellers, which allows it to move forward and steer in water. However, it's not recommended to use the car regularly in water, as it's primarily designed for land use. In fact, the U8 is actually a hybrid vehicle, which means it can run on both electricity and gasoline. It has a top speed of 60 kilometers an hour on land and 10 kilometers an hour on water. One of the comments in the comments section suggested that the water and lithium batteries could be dangerous, but in this case, it's highly unlikely. The U8 is designed with safety features to prevent water from getting into the battery compartment, and the battery is well protected. The U8 has undergone rigorous testing to ensure that it's safe to use in water. This is such a cool invention, don't you think?
Oh man, how cool it is. So what do you guys think?
In the depths of the forest captured by a trail camera, a perplexing scene unfolds as 4 dark-furred creatures work collaboratively to bring down a tree. The way they move, the unsettling noise they make, and their coordinated effort add an air of mystery to the footage. As people watch this mysterious video, speculations about their identity range from mundane explanations like monkeys to more fantastical suggestions involving young Bigfoot. The creature's determination to break the tree into 2 raises questions about their behavior and purpose. Could they be a known species of primates displaying an unusual behavior, or does this footage offer a glimpse into the elusive and legendary world of Bigfoot, suggesting a social structure and collaborative activities? In the skies over Colombia, an observer became witness to a surreal phenomenon, a colossal human shadow cast against the expanse of the heavens. While clouds are known to occasionally take on diverse shapes, the distinctive features of this ethereal figure sparked a sense of intrigue and skepticism. Clouds usually take on all sorts of fun shapes, but the sharp and purposeful lines of this massive figure made people wonder more than usual. The clear outline of a head and shoulders got everyone thinking. Was it a mere play of light and shadow, or did the heavens momentarily unveil a glimpse of something beyond our comprehension? Picture this. You're settling into your car, keys in hand, ready to kick off your day. Suddenly, your attention is drawn to a peculiar sight squirming its way out of an air conditioning vent. Now stop imagining. Take a look. A quick-witted car owner caught this bizarre moment on camera. A creature with claws and a curious pinkish appendage emerging through the vents. Say hello to the star-nosed mole, aka the mysterious and freakish-looking visitor. Its distinctive features can offset even the most ironclad of stomachs. If its visit to the man's car serves any purpose, it's a reminder that even in the mundane spaces of our daily lives, nature can surprise us with its unique and unexpected inhabitants. Who knew your car's AC system could become an entrance for the denizens of the underground world? Still on things that look like dogs but are not, take a look at this next footage. What do you see? All who saw it initially believed we were dealing with an abnormally large dog, but it turns out it's nothing more than a pig. Has anyone seen a pig like this before? Can you tell or guess its exact species? If you can, please leave it in the comments section for us. We've got something special for the best response. Whilst the last capture left a lot of room for speculation due to its blurriness, this image is crystal clear and, quite frankly, more unsettling. Here we encounter another tree, but this one is considerably scarier than the previous one. This peculiar tree seems to have a face, and it's not a friendly one. At the top, you can't help but notice a pair of enormous holes resembling eyes. Right beneath that, there's something that eerily resembles a nose, and beneath that, a gaping void that can only be described as a wide-open, terrifying mouth. What's even more spine-chilling is the layer beneath the mouth, which eerily resembles teeth. This tree appears as if it's screaming in agony, frozen in a macabre moment of anguish. But before we jump to supernatural conclusions, it's important to consider a psychological phenomenon known as pareidolia. Humans tend to perceive familiar faces in unrelated objects, like spotting shapes in the clouds. So in all likelihood, this is just a regular tree, albeit one that triggers our innate ability to find faces in the most unexpected places. Rest assured, this tree is not a creature of the night. It's just another intriguing facet of the mysterious natural world we share our planet with. Or is it? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Think that was bizarre? Take a look at this next footage. In the footage, we see a young biker riding through what looks like the countryside, but if you look closely at the footage, something eerie unfolds in the background. A tall, slender figure moving through the grass. If you pay attention to the height of the creature in relation to the rest of the environment, then you can tell that the creature is very, very tall, maybe 8 feet or more. But what creature is it? As the footage circulated, it sent chills down the spines of those who believed they had spotted the infamous Slender Man. This footage was captured somewhere in the UK, and the uploader had set up cams to film himself on his new bike. What he didn't expect to see is the creature you can see in the background. He explained that a passing driver had alerted him to the presence of a strange humanoid creature in the area. At first, he dismissed it as something unbelievable. However, his skepticism would soon give way to something else as he reviewed the footage during the editing process. Looking at the footage, I'm really glad that he was really that far from the creature. Who knows what could have happened to him if he met the creature face to face. Imagine checking your trail camera expecting the usual wildlife snapshots only to be met with a mysterious creature that defies explanation. This photo reveals a towering figure standing at least 7 feet tall, draped in dark fur and unmistakably humanoid. The creature's face, a curious blend of ape-like features with a human nose, raises eyebrows and stirs the imagination. Is it possible this is a genuine encounter with the elusive Sasquatch, or is there room for skepticism, with some suggesting a potential hoax involving a person in an elaborate costume? Personally, I'm tempted to believe it could be a hoax unless there's some explanation for how the creature's fur looks like it just walked out of the dry cleaners when it actually lives in a place that leaves fur dirty and matted. Perhaps this is just me being difficult, but what do you think? You know that uneasy feeling of someone watching you when you're walking in the dark, but you turn and nothing is there? How would you feel if you turned and saw something? Imagine how petrified you'd be. Well, in this footage, this man didn't have to imagine it because he had experienced it, at least in part. He'd gone for a walk one night with his dog to take a breather when he felt eyes upon him. Turning around, he found a pair of glowing eyes staring straight at him past the dog that was just behind him. The creature was concealed in the darkness, but judging by the size of the eyes, it must have been something quite substantial. That leaves us and anyone else who has seen the footage wondering, what exactly could that be? The uploader of this next footage is believed to have caught and recorded a Bigfoot. The footage was taken on a mountain in Indonesia. Have a look. You can see a huge creature walking across the field under the waterfall. The creature appears to be furry and bipedal. Looking at the distance and the size, this creature must be really big for it to be seen so clearly in the woods. This ruled out any speculations of it being an ape. A part of me believes this is the real deal, but I doubt a random person would be walking through the woods in the mountains wearing a Bigfoot costume. The heat and dangers alone make it an unpleasant decision to make. But then again, humans are just full of surprises. You never know. Until a human is caught in those woods in a Bigfoot costume, I believe we have a Bigfoot sighting deep in the woods of the mountains in Indonesia. Amazing, isn't it? We start today's episode with a wild but unsettling one. Have a look. Now, when we saw this footage, our first question was, what is this? After watching a few more times, we still realized we didn't know what we were looking at. At first glance, the creature looks like a humanoid creature with short legs squirming in the hands of a man. That's at least until he turned it around and revealed that the creature was actually flatter and smaller than initially thought. At this point, it started looking like a sponge-like creature. But how is that even possible? Well, I don't know, but this creature was caught in one of the water bodies of China. Has anyone here encountered any creature like this? Do you know what it is? If you do, please enlighten us in the comments because we're dying to know. Literally. Our next captivating footage transports us back in time, raising the age-old question. Are dinosaurs real or just confined to the realms of history and imagination? The video captures a moment that appears to showcase a little T-Rex being fed, adding a layer of fascination and awe to the mystery surrounding these ancient creatures. Throughout history, we've dug up skeletal remains hinting at the existence of dinosaurs in eras long before humans came into the picture. But now, this footage seems to suggest the wild notion of dinosaurs making a comeback from extinction. It's like a spark of curiosity and deep thinking. The thought of running into these colossal creatures in the here and now shakes up our understanding of how nature works. It's like a giant leap beyond what we thought we knew about the natural order of things. Now, this next one is quite an intriguing tale from the heart of the wilderness. In the year 2020, Scott Carpenter, a dedicated Bigfoot researcher, embarked on a camping expedition into the depths of the woods. Little did he know that his journey would lead to a captivating discovery that would fuel the age-old debate surrounding the elusive Bigfoot. In the video, a colossal dog-furred creature emerges behind the tent, casting a towering silhouette against the wilderness. The creature seemed curious about the strange structure in its territory. It pokes the tent with a tree branch and then moves away to stand behind the tree, still looking at the tent. Carpenter was very excited about this encounter and decided to share it. What do you think of this? Here's another video featuring a dinosaur being hauled out of a truck. Unlike the previous video, this creature is noticeably larger and displays a more aggressive demeanor. However, skepticism arises as people question the authenticity of the footage. Upon closer inspection, the creature's movements and anatomy raise doubts about its legitimacy. Many viewers point out the seemingly artificial quality of its legs, almost resembling a costume rather than a living being. If indeed a hoax, the creators have gone to great lengths to craft a convincing spectacle. While the video may be a cleverly orchestrated fake, it sparks contemplation about the enduring mystery surrounding dinosaurs. Fascination with these ancient creatures persists, and even a fictional representation can captivate our imagination. What are your thoughts on this elaborate dinosaur display? Here's a fascinating discovery shared by a Reddit user. Two adventurous souls deep into exploring a collapsed cave stumbled upon a mysterious pile of rocks. With curiosity as their guide, they decided to unveil the secrets hidden beneath. As the rocks shifted, an unexpected sight met their eyes, a strange face peering back at them from the darkness, only to retreat into the shadows. The men, now with their lights illuminating the unknown, captured the entire encounter on film. The intriguing part? In the heart of the moment, one of them can be heard shouting jinn, an Arabic term often associated with demons or evil spirits. But let's think about something here. If that's a jinn, a demonic spirit with power and all the kinds of things we've heard, how is it trapped in the ground? Now, what are we looking at here? A creature with the head of a fish, the upper torso of a human, and a fishtail. Just when we thought we'd seen it all, this hybrid creature emerges, resembling something concocted in a lab. The creature appears lifeless, its hand seemingly affixed to its back. Unfortunately, there isn't much information available on this creature, so we cannot definitely say if it's real or a fabrication. However, one thing is for sure, the prospect of sharing the same planet with a creature like this is something most would find unsettling. Under the shroud of night, as this adventurer embarked on a boat journey through the mysterious swamp, an unexpected and eerie symphony captured their attention. In the stillness of the night, the distant tolling of a church bell reverberated through the air, resonating across the expansive forest. What made this occurrence particularly peculiar was the absence of any visible church in the vicinity. The haunting sound, typically associated with places of worship, seemed to emerge from the depths of the darkness itself. The discordance between the natural surroundings of the swamp and the unnatural tolling added an air of mystery to the nocturnal escapade. As the boat gently glided through the swamp's waterways, the enigmatic chiming persisted, leaving us to wonder, is that from a ghost church? Oh, we've got a little troublemaker on our hands. Caught in the act, this mischievous companion was frozen in place when its owner found it meddling with the tap. The guilt is practically written all over its adorable face as the water pours all over it. I can almost imagine the internal debate happening in its tiny head. Should I make a run for it or face the consequences? The moment of realization is pure gold, and the gradual head movement after the initial shock adds a touch of humor. It's almost as if the cat thought staying perfectly still could make it invisible. Classic pet antics. What do you think this furry friend was up to with the tap? The Matrix is a movie that not only captivated audiences with its mind-bending narrative, but also left us questioning the very fabric of reality. And now, here we are in the real world, pondering whether we might be living in a coded existence. So check this out. A man at a train station doing a perplexing dance of falling and getting up, falling and getting up. Now that alone might raise an eyebrow, but what takes it to the next level is that this guy is not just tripping randomly. No, sir, he's falling at the same spot in the same way with the same reaction every single time. Now, before you start thinking he's just practicing some avant-garde dance routine, the theorists are throwing around a different idea. They're suggesting that this man's seemingly repetitive actions are no ordinary clumsiness. Instead, they're labeling it as a glitch in the Matrix. It's like reality is stuck on a loop, and he's unwittingly become the star of this glitchy show. What do you think, though? A true glitch in the Matrix, or simply a man who may be on drugs? During a heavy flood in Peru, a reporter was climbing stairs while filming when his camera captured something intriguing. It appears that the reporter may not have even noticed that she'd caught something on camera as she continued talking while the camera briefly focused on the mysterious figure. The creature in question appears humanoid with dark skin, crawling on the stairs and following the woman. According to the residents of the area, they believe this creature resides in the waters and has been washed up on land during the flood. While many are excited about the prospects of this being nothing but a paranormal being, some were quick to point out that it might simply be a man who was on the verge of succumbing to hypothermia. Take a close look at the footage. Which do you think it is? Now, this is one for the books. In the mystical realm of the internet, back in 2017, a Facebook user named Kelly embarked on a stroll through the woods, casually filming herself. Little did she know, her video would unveil something extraordinary: two tiny, dark figures making their way through the same woods. The online world exploded with speculation as netizens let their imaginations run wild. Some threw out the possibility of these creatures being little people, while others concocted a myriad of theories to explain the mysterious figures. Looking at it, I don't believe they're little people, but then again, it's the kind of stuff that fuels late-night conversations and stirs the pot of paranormal enthusiasts, so I throw it to you. What do you think this is? The idea of extraterrestrial life visiting Earth has been a topic of fascination and debate for years. Now, in this intriguing footage, we have a piece of that mysterious puzzle. Picture this: a little girl innocently descending a staircase, all while being filmed by an unknown person. As she steps outside into the silent night, something catches the camera's attention: a strange creature lurking behind a tree. This being possessed pale skin and large dark eyes, resembling the classic description of an alien. Now, the big question arises: could this be a genuine encounter with extraterrestrial entities, or is it perhaps a well-executed prank? Now, this is something I would not like to see when I retrieve my Trailcam. Trailcams have captured their fair share of peculiar things, but what was found on this occasion defies both words and description. This hideous being was captured on a Trailcam. The creature appears to possess a head and body uncannily reminiscent of the bark of a tree or maybe a hair. The picture is a little blurry, so it's hard to make out its facial features. However, there seems to be what looks like a nose and two hollows on the head that resemble eyes. This creature isn't a tree, especially when compared to the natural trees in the background. So what could it be? Do you think we're looking at a possessed tree come to life, or something far worse? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Still on giant or tall creatures, take a look at this next footage. Although the uploader doesn't exactly tell us where he took the footage, based on the footage alone, we can tell that this was captured in some snowy mountain or probably during winter. At first, the footage appears to be a typical woodland scene, but within seconds, a massive, furry creature comes into view in the distance. Without warning, you might be tempted to think you're dealing with a gorilla due to its size. But do gorillas walk on all twos like the creature in the footage is doing? Well, definitely not. So what's the explanation for what we are seeing? There's no logical explanation for it. If we want to thoroughly explain the footage, we will have to step into the realm of the paranormal, and that's exactly what the paranormal community did. The community believed that we were actually looking at a potential footage of Bigfoot, and I'm leaning towards that explanation and possibility. I mean, can you name any other creature of such size and movement? Precisely, it's undoubtedly Bigfoot. In our ever-evolving world, new and undiscovered creatures continue to emerge, awaiting exploration and recognition, such is the case of this next footage. An Australian man was jogging in the morning when he came across a strange creature on the ground. The creature had a huge head and a long tail with small black eyes. Its skin was semi-transparent. It looked undeveloped and looked like an undeveloped sea creature washed onto the land. However, when scientists came across the footage, they were unable to identify the creature. I almost thought it was a squid, but I was sharply reprimanded. So I turned to you guys. What do you think we're dealing with here? Now let me introduce you to a creature that seems straight out of a fairy tale, the screaming, hairy armadillo. Yeah, you heard it right, and no, it's not a creature of fiction, but a real living being. These peculiar beings are known for their vocalizations that can only be described as screaming. Imagine a hairy armadillo whose defense mechanism is being too annoying to eat. It screams till whatever is trying to eat it just loses interest or is startled. That's the creature on your screen. What do you think that creature is? It's hard to tell, isn't it? Despite living with their wildlife, the uploader of the footage is very unsure what this creature his security cam captured. He's leaning toward the possibility of it being a skunk, and I can understand why. But then again, the unconventional characteristics of the creature make him believe he could actually be dealing with something else. What do you think? In this next footage, a group of youngsters ventured into the woods in search of an adventure. As they ventured further into the woods, they stumbled upon a peculiar sight. A dried-up riverbed, but what was even more unsettling was the presence of a mysterious woman draped in a flowing white cloth. At first, she was crouched down, but later stood up with her back turned to them as she made strange movements with her head and arms, almost as if she was performing some kind of ritual. Curiosity getting the better of them, one brave soul from the group approached the enigmatic woman, perhaps to inquire about her purpose in the desolate place. But suddenly, the woman let out a bone-chilling scream which scared the group and sent them running for their lives. What started as a simple quest for adventure took an unexpected and bone-chilling turn. It seems these young explorers got far more than they bargained for in the heart of those ominous woods. A gang of adventurers living it up on a glacier, having the time of their lives when they stumble onto something that turns their icy expedition into a frosty riddle. The ice surface is solid, supporting their weight, but here's the kicker. When they peek through it, there's water underneath. Now what in the chilly world is happening here? It's like the ice is playing a sneaky game of optical illusions, treating them to a liquid magic show right under their boots. Is it a secret entrance to an underwater wonderland, or just Mother Nature flaunting her icy tricks? The glacier seems to be keeping its secrets on ice, leaving our adventurers in awe and probably scratching their heads a bit. Turns out, ice adventures aren't just about epic views, they also come with front row seats to nature surprises. In another bizarre encounter, a person walking in the streets at night stumbled upon a truly unsettling sight. A mysterious woman was standing still, observing passers-by with an eerie intensity. As the person filming approached, a more detailed look revealed something profoundly unsettling about her appearance. The woman's eyes were pitch black, devoid of any discernible humanity, and her face exhibited an otherworldly quality. The camera captured the unnerving moment as her gaze seemed to follow its movement. The overall impression is deeply unsettling, prompting the hope that this might be a Halloween stunt or some form of performance art, that an encounter was something beyond the realm of normalcy. Would you go out of your house to take a good look at an animal that was roaming around your property late at night? Well, not me, but the one in the footage I'm about to show you did, and you wouldn't believe what happened. Have a look. In the footage, you see him looking around the property, but look as he would, he sees nothing and no one. After a few seconds, however, he hears movement in his house, looks through the window, and hears someone inside. He immediately rushes in, trying to find whatever was in the room. He went through the various rooms and saw nothing. How's that possible? Well, we don't know, but if I were him, I'd be extra careful on that property and watch my back at all times. In the northern part of the Ukraine lies the Tetra River, a picturesque water body surrounded by lush green trees and scattered houses, as depicted in the video clip. Recently, reports have emerged of an unusual creature spotted in this river, sparking curiosity and intrigue among online communities. Witnesses have described it as resembling a reptile with a striking set of spiky teeth in its mouth. Fortunately, though, the footage you are watching serves as one of the first real glimpses of this mysterious creature's existence. The creature primarily appears to be gray in color, with a light yellow shade on its head area. Distinctive crack-like patterns on its skin further set it apart from other enigmatic creatures. This person recorded the video despite being clearly frightened, bravely attempting to interact with the creature by waving a fishing rod near it. During the initial attempt, the creature didn't react. However, undeterred, the recorder cautiously moves the fishing rod closer to the creature, which prompts the mysterious being to turn away and swiftly jump back into the water. This behavior leads to speculation that the creature could possibly be a mutated animal from the Chernobyl disaster. Some don't think so. They think it looks ordinary. The true identity of the creature, however, remains a mystery and has sparked a great deal of speculation and discussion online. Considering your expertise in identifying creatures, we hope one of you can help uncover its identity. Please don't disappoint. You know that feeling of being watched when you're walking all alone in a secluded place? Well, this footage was taken by a woman who was hiking in California when she felt uncomfortable, like someone was watching. As she glances around, a realization hits her. The weird feeling she's got isn't just a figment of her imagination. Right there, perched on a tree with this almost primal stillness, is a creature, one she's convinced is a Bigfoot. Peeking from a distance, the creature subtly reveals only a glimpse of its head and shoulders, but that sighting packs a serious punch. It sets off a bunch of questions and wild guesses. Is it some sort of forest guardian, a mythical being checking out the hiker passing by, or is it just a game of shadows and leaves playing tricks on us? During a sunset moment, someone came across a strange spectacle. There seemed to be 3 different lights behind a cloud. Now, scientifically speaking, this phenomenon is known as a sundog or parhelion. It occurs when sunlight is refracted through ice crystals in the atmosphere, creating bright spots on either side of the sun. These spots can sometimes give the illusion of multiple suns, leading to breathtaking and somewhat surreal visuals. Nature has a way of surprising us with its optical illusions, making us pause and marvel at the wonders of the world. Have you ever encountered any other intriguing natural phenomena? Now let's delve into a chilling encounter in Siberia, where a possible alien sighting has left many baffled. Have a look. As the camera rolls, we find ourselves in the icy wilderness of Siberia, where a lone explorer stumbles upon a mysterious creature frozen in the ice. Though we can't understand the explorer's words due to the unfamiliar dialect, it only adds to the intrigue and wonder. The creature bears an uncanny resemblance to the stereotypical image of an extraterrestrial being. Despite its otherworldly appearance, the creature is lifeless and remarkably well preserved within the ice. Determining how long it's been encased here is challenging, but ice-preserving qualities raise the possibility that it's been there for an extended period, hidden from our knowledge. But if this is genuinely an alien, it raises profound questions. How long have these beings been among us? What is their purpose? And should we be concerned about our safety? While skepticism may tempt some to label this as a hoax, it's crucial to consider recent disclosures in the USA regarding the existence of extraterrestrial life. It's a revelation that forces us to reevaluate our understanding of the universe and our place within it. It makes you rethink everything, doesn't it? This next footage indeed showcases a fascinating and unexpected phenomenon involving a hollow tree struck by lightning. It's a reminder that nature and its interactions can often produce outcomes that defy our expectations. Have a look. In the video, a peculiar event unfolds as a thunderous noise is followed by a lightning strike that hits a tree. Typically, when a tree is struck by lightning, it can catch fire, break, and fall to the ground, burning until it turns into ashes. However, this particular tree seems to be burning from the inside, resembling a rotisserie chicken roasting to perfection. It's almost as if the thunder and lightning are acting as chefs. What makes this occurrence especially baffling is that there is no visible ash coming from the tree. Normally, when a tree burns, it leaves behind ash as it consumes the wood. However, in this case, it appears that the tree is burning internally without breaking apart or producing ash as expected. Such events serve as a reminder of the mysteries of nature and how there are phenomena that we don't fully understand. It can indeed invoke thoughts and contemplation about unusual occurrences and their possible significance. The world around us continues to surprise and astonish us with its complexity. Wouldn't you agree? Imagine the delightful world of rabbits, those adorable creatures with their fluffy fur and unmistakably large ears. They're a bundle of cuteness that has found a special place in the hearts of many. However, what do you do when a rabbit is as big as a dog? I present to you the Flemish giants. They are a type of rabbits that are bred for their meat. However, some individuals have chosen to keep these colossal bunnies as pets, and the decision is not without reason. And just like the small ones, these huge bunnies are just as cute. A Trailcam owner in Washington uploaded his footage when he saw what he had captured. In this footage, we can see a dense forest in the midst of the night, but a few moments later, something walks by among the trees. It was a huge being taking strong strides on its two legs. The creature is covered in dark fur, so it blends perfectly with the night. However, you can make out its outline, which resembles a Bigfoot. Is it really one, or is something else entirely? We'll update you as soon as we can confirm. In this video clip, a somewhat congested room is shown. A four-legged chair suddenly falls to the ground. What truly captures attention in the footage is a toddler sitting in the middle of the room, seemingly engaged in conversation with itself. Initially, it appears that the toddler is the sole presence in the room, but that assumption is quickly challenged when, without any visible cause, the toddler is pushed onto its back with its hands and legs raised high. It's perplexing because there doesn't seem to be anything or anyone in the frame that could have caused this fall. It was no ordinary fall either. The boy was pushed. It must have hurt, as we can hear the child's cries. This unusual occurrence raises questions. Could there be an unseen presence in the room, perhaps a ghost or an evil spirit? Is it possible that this mysterious force is acting out of jealousy? After all, why else would a toddler suddenly be pushed by something invisible to the naked human eye? This scenario is particularly intriguing because the mother believes it's the ghost of her 2 other deceased babies. You see, the baby in the footage was originally part of a set of 3, but the other 2 didn't make it. The mother believes that the other 2 could be attempting to murder the living one. Bizarre, right? But what do you think? All this man wanted to do was enjoy a good time with his girlfriend on his property in the countryside. Things initially went as expected, but they took a dark turn when he began hearing eerie and terrifying sounds. He ventured outside to investigate and noticed eerie eyes seemingly following him in the darkness. On one occasion, he spotted it on his roof, followed it from the ground, and ultimately discovered what appeared to be the carcass of another animal. First off, how did whatever that creature was drag it up there? Is it some vampire creature or a creature of the night? Some fancy it being a skinwalker, but that's something I just don't see. It reminds me of the dark creatures from the Netflix series Castlevania, only this isn't some series, this is real life. I can't see anyone saying no to the cool country breeze, the quiet life, the relaxed scenery, and all things associated with the countryside. But what about these creatures of the night that plague the place? Well, you decide. There's been quite a buzz surrounding a particular video circling the internet. In this footage, a creature resembling a dog caught the attention of the person behind the camera. As the creature appeared to notice the observer, it seems to head straight in that direction. The video owner claims it's a dog man, but some skeptics argue that it appears more like a person in a costume. As the debate unfolds, opinions diverge on the authenticity of the footage. Is it a genuine encounter with a mysterious creature, perhaps a dogman as suggested, or could it be a scenario involving someone in costume? I think it's the latter. What about you? Now, sticking with the Bigfoot vibe, let's step into the world of eerie sounds echoing through the woods. In this captivating footage, someone catches a unique sound that they're pretty convinced is connected to Bigfoot. The audio captures this loud grunt-like growl that ripples through the whole forest. So here's the big question. Is this really the mysterious Bigfoot doing its communication thing, or could it be the call of some unknown creature? Maybe, just maybe, it's a well-played prank by someone who loves a good mystery. This next footage was taken by a lady who spotted a strange woman standing in a lake at the New Jersey State Park. The woman was dressed in all white with dark flowing hair. The ladies who spotted this strange scene were not sure if the woman was a ghost or just some weird woman. The footage, however, reminds me of the earlier footage involving the group who saw the woman by the dried river who screamed at them. I don't know what it is with these strange women standing in water bodies, but tales like these have a way of echoing through the corridors of time. This brings to mind the legend of La Llorona, the Weeping Woman. A story steeped in tragedy hails from the rich tapestry of Mexican folklore. The chilling tale speaks of a Spanish woman who, in a fit of madness, drowned her children in the river. Since that fateful day, it's said her restless spirit haunts water bodies, perpetually searching for her lost offspring. This tale hailed from Mexico and has been passed on for centuries. Do you think this is La Llorona, or someone else entirely? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section. If you've made it this far and haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, you could do that before we go on. Thank you very much, because it means a lot. Coming back to the episode. For our next Trailcam capture, we moved to the Amazon, where this weird and quite frankly scary picture of a beast was captured. Behold, the horned beast of Baja. If you're unfamiliar with this cryptid, don't worry, we were too. It's quite surprising to discover that such a creature resides in the Amazon. Never did it ever cross our minds to check if the Amazon had any cryptids living in there, but there are apparently a number of them, and the creature on your screens currently is all but one of these creatures. According to the person who uploaded this image online, it's the clearest photo of the mysterious horned beast. It was taken back in 2007 by an American teen exploring the area. The young boy believed he'd seen a demon carrying a baby, but all who knew the legends of the horned beast dispelled his fears and told him it was a dangerous cryptid that roamed the area, adding that he was lucky to have escaped with his life. Basically, not many meet the horned beast of Baja and come out of the experience alive. That makes this photo all the more rare. Diving into the world of conspiracy theories, there's a buzz going around suggesting that NASA might be tinkering with digital maps to hide specific spots on Earth. In this video, someone takes us on a virtual tour, zooming in on a particular area until we land on this perplexing site with a weird pattern that looks a bit like a wall. The oddity of this place gets people wondering, sparking all sorts of theories about hidden agendas and deliberately keeping information under wraps. As we mull over the idea of secret operations in the digital space, there are lingering questions. Is NASA really up to something fishy, concealing certain places? And if they are, what kind of secrets could these hidden spots be holding? Or is this just a case of misinterpretation and coincidence? I hope the FBI doesn't come knocking on my door for this. Our fascination with the unknown takes a peculiar turn with the discovery of an unconventional artifact, a miniature flying saucer adorned with cryptic symbols and detachable parts. It's like stumbling upon a cosmic puzzle, leaving everyone perplexed about its origins and purposes. As people examine this enigmatic object, the air is charged with speculation. Is it an alien gadget, a piece of extraterrestrial technology that defies our earthly comprehension? Or, on the flip side, could it be a creation of human ingenuity, wrapped in mystery, to challenge our intellect? Share your thoughts. Still on ancient creatures, we have another footage that's sure to blow you away. Have you ever heard of the alligator snapping turtle? Well, if you haven't, today's your lucky day. You get to not only see one of these magnificent creatures, but actually see someone holding one in his hands. Before you tell yourself that's no feat, know that these prehistoric-looking creatures are known for their impressive size, with males typically reaching lengths of 13 to 20 inches and sometimes even larger. Aside from its length, they can weigh anywhere from 150 to 250 pounds or even more, making them one of the heaviest freshwater turtle species. If that does not impress you, know that these animals are known to have quite a powerful bite. Knowing this, it's shocking to see someone actually carrying and manhandling one. Whatever you do, please don't do what this man is doing in the footage, even if it looks very cool and, quite frankly, very manly. In the next footage, you would not believe what a man captured deep in the woods. This man is reported to have heard a strange noise coming from the woods and decided to investigate. He set out with his camera and torchlight in the night to find out what was behind the strange noise. As he followed the enigmatic noises, his journey led him to a mysterious and foreboding fence adorned with a stern warning: no trespassing. Undeterred, he boldly crossed this threshold and moved closer to the source of the eerie sounds. What he witnessed sent shivers down his spine. A colossal figure lurking in the distance, a creature of gargantuan proportions that resembled the infamous Siren Head. Fear and disbelief gripped him as he concealed himself, silently observing the behemoth as it drew nearer. Only when the creature had passed was he able to make his escape. Upon sharing his harrowing footage with the world via YouTube, a cacophony of reactions erupted. Some cried hoax, while others were left in awe and terror. But what are your thoughts on this perplexing encounter? We'd really love to hear them. It's been a while since we had an orb clip, so do enjoy this one. Right off the bat, I must say that this could qualify for the top 10 oddest and top 5 weirdest orb clips we've ever had. Not only is this present in a city, but it actually has a way of exploding or expanding, even if for a little bit, then shrinking again. It does this a couple of times and then disappears in the distance. The one who posted it said, aside from the red hue, nothing else happened in the area, and not many even noticed it, unless they were outside, since it occurred at sleeping hours. Those who saw the clip think we may actually be looking at something from the depths of CERN, but since we don't have proof, we can't pursue that theory. What do you guys think? Still on homeowners and property owners, the owner of this footage noticed someone was breaking into his property and set up a trail cam. From the clip, we can clearly tell it's no animal, it's human. Some who saw it thought it was weird to see a human's light reflect light, but if you have the right infrared cam, it's not so weird. Now, the main question on everyone's mind is this just an ordinary human breaking into his property for her own dubious reasons, or could we really be dealing with a supernatural being taking on the form of a human? Well, everyone who's seen the clip has joked it's his mother-in-law, but what do you guys think? This human stone can be found in Ireland. The first time I saw it, I was told it was a real person who'd been turned to stone, and that made me feel sick to my stomach. I was wondering how much pain this person had gone through when their body was being mummified in the middle of the river. Was it some kind of medieval torture method? My fears were soon dispelled, and if I gave you an indication that this was real, I would want to dispel your fears as well. This is no sinister tale of agony. Instead, it's a testament to the enduring spirit of human endeavor. This eerie creation is in fact a sculpture, an artful representation of the relentless struggles and unwavering determination that drive individuals to conquer their ambitions. Interesting, huh? This recording captures a vast expanse of land covered in tall grass where several individuals engage in a mysterious activity. 4 individuals, clad in white protective gear, are meticulously examining and working on a discovery. Meanwhile, 2 others, donned in lemon green protective attire, stand beside a stretcher, awaiting the actions of the first group. It's not known who exactly they are or what exactly they are doing, but one thing's certain. They discovered something new, and whatever it is, it's dangerous, necessitating the gear. Simultaneously, the individuals in white protective gear lift a creature from the ground, seemingly possessing a long fish-like tail, and place it on the stretcher. The other 2 ensure that the stretcher is positioned securely, preparing for the creature's transfer. The creature's identity remains obscure as the recorder's sole attempt to record this appears too far, even as the scientists step away from the stretcher. This raises the question, how perilous is it to have direct contact with this creature? What necessitates such elaborate protective gear in this remote location? Could it be an alien, a cryptid? Has a lab experiment gone wrong? Escapees from Area 51? The mind can't help but roam in a bid to find an answer to this enchanting enigma. But what do you guys think we're dealing with here? Tell us in the comment section. Next, we visit Australia, the home of the redback spider. Oh, sorry, I just had to get that off my chest, even though this clip has nothing to do with the highly venomous redback spider. Anyway, enjoy. If you can't recognize the skeleton you are looking at, that's fine, because almost all who saw it couldn't identify it either. Some thought it was a dugong, but that just didn't make sense. Did I say everyone? No, forgive me. The scientific and logical community couldn't identify it. The paranormal community, however, think we may be dealing with the real skeleton of a mermaid or something closely related. Looking at it, I have to agree, and because I didn't want Julius shooting down my beliefs with his poorly informed logic, I didn't tell him. But guys, tell me you don't see a mermaid when you look at this. If you do, I won't bring this subject up ever again. Have you ever had an unexpected, uninvited visitor at your home? Did they look something like this? Well, you thought that was an ominous being, didn't you? Well, for the first few seconds, that's what I thought, until the light hit. While this might have been a game if you live in America, especially in states where individuals are mandated to have a gun, I'm not sure you should be trying something like this. The funny thing is, individuals in the comments sections thought so too. Take a look at this. For the first time in a long time, I agree. You don't want to get pew-pewed while playing a prank. It can be painful and, well, deadly. Deep in the Indian jungle, an adventurous YouTuber and his crew embarked on a chilling expedition to explore an eerie, abandoned house. The building was dated to years ago, so the structure is very ruined and looks like a hotspot for haunting. The walls, covered in green fungus and mold, bore witness to years of neglect. Trees have even sprouted within the property. The structure was said to be owned by a family who were killed in the house, resulting in rumors of serious hauntings on the property. I'm guessing that's why this YouTube crew went to check it out. Initially, as they explored the house, nothing seemed amiss except for a lone stray cat resting by a window. However, within minutes, they spot a strange figure standing in one of the rooms. The discovery was spine-chilling, and naturally they tried to discern what exactly they were dealing with. The figure looked like a girl. It had long, black, flowing hair, yet she herself stood stiffly. Her demeanor and stance naturally spooked the team, and they ran out of the place. Now, I want this to be true, but a part of me questions the authenticity of the footage. What about you? Let's take a break from the scary stuff. This strange sea creature was filmed from South Carolina. It looks like a fish with wings flapping in the water. Well, this is not any kind of unknown species. This is a type of sea slug that's mostly found in fresh water. Take a moment to appreciate the sheer elegance with which this sea slug glides through its underwater realm. It's a vivid reminder that the natural world is a treasure trove of wonders, where even the seemingly ordinary can reveal moments of extraordinary beauty. It's always the abandoned places. On second thought, I guess they are abandoned for a reason. This was sent in by someone who looked down into an old well, curious to see what was inside. But as they stare into the darkness, they start to feel like someone or something is watching them. But here's where it gets weird. From the bottom of the well, they see a pair of eyes looking back at them, shining in the dark. What could be living down there in this empty well? At first, I thought it might be a cat, but Julius and Aaron disagreed. They think it's either humanoid or bipedal, but it's hard to imagine anyone living in such a lonely place. So, what could we be dealing with here? Perhaps I should let you guys take point on this one. Still on Merfolk, take a look at this. This looks human and yet looks fishy at the same time. Do you know what else has fishy and human attributes? That's right, mermaids. I want to believe this is real. I really want to, but my brain can't get past the fact that the upper body is covered why is it covered? How would we know this isn't some doll you're trying to mislead us with? Because I have my doubts, I shared this with Julius, and as expected, he doesn't think it's real. But perhaps we're the ones being unreasonable. Do you guys think this footage is real? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. In a rather unsettling discovery, a doll was stumbled upon in the depths of a river. But this wasn't just any doll. It bore an uncanny resemblance to a human. The doll's features are chillingly realistic. Its skin is eerily pale, swathed in a dark shroud. Its eyes, wide open, seem to pierce through the observer, while blood-red lips hint at something far more sinister. The image is further intensified by what appears to be blood oozing from the corner of its mouth. While most would initially mistake this for a real-life horror scene, it's indeed just a doll, albeit one that raises a myriad of questions. How did it end up in the river? Who created it, and for what purpose? The answers remain elusive, shrouding this eerie discovery in an air of mystery. What's your take on this enigmatic doll? Did that scare you? Well, if it did, I won't be surprised. The creature looks like something straight out of a nightmare, and it has limbs that don't quite make sense. The video is blurry, hence we can't say much, but it might have scales for skin and generally have a fish-like appearance. These guesses are based on the description of the uploader, who called the creature a toil. For those unfamiliar with it, it's a supernatural creature or spirit found in the Southeast Asian folklore, particularly in Malay, Indonesian, and Thai cultures. It's often described as a mischievous and malevolent creature that's associated with black magic and the occult. It's commonly depicted as a grotesque or deformed fetus-like creature. It's typically very small in size, resembling an infant or a small child. Here's the twist. It's believed to have the power to bring wealth and good fortune to its owner if treated well, but it can also bring misfortune if mistreated. Most often, however, it carries out the wishes of a master, which leaves us wondering, did someone intentionally send the creature after the family? If they did, why? Why would you do such a thing? Now, when this started to play, I must say I thought I was seeing a large crab or some form of crustacean creature stretching its legs. I watched it over and over and over, and each time, it made my skin crawl. Being the researcher I am, thanks to the influence of Julius, I did some digging around and found out later that there was nothing ominous about this. In fact, it's just a plant feeder that slowly dissolves in the water, allowing for planned and timed feeds. Neat contraption, right? Well, that's only if you know what it is. If you don't, you may end up posting it online thinking you've captured something otherworldly. Thankfully, I'm not like that, thanks to Julius. It pained me to say that last part, but it is what it is. Have you ever been to a place and suddenly saw something that was never there a few minutes or hours earlier?
Some sort of alien
What if that thing looked like this? Yeah, the man recording this footage found this strange-looking thing in the middle of nowhere, and the funny thing is, he had been there some hours before and didn't see it. So where did this come from? The fact is, no one knows, but the monolith, which is the name they're giving to this strange figure, has been seen in many other places. It always appears suddenly without a trace of how it got there. Many think the aliens are responsible, but, well, I don't think so. Frankly, I get why they think that, but Julius thinks humans might have something to do with it. Have you heard about these monoliths? Do you have a theory on their existence? Please share in the comments section. Let's pivot back to something rather unsettling. This video comes from a guy who had an unusual encounter one night around 2 a.m. He was fast asleep when some strange sounds outside roused him from his slumber. Feeling a mix of curiosity and apprehension, he stumbled over to his window, parted the blinds, and what he saw defied explanation. Hovering above his car was a figure, a far cry from your everyday human. This mysterious being was draped in a dark, flowing robe with its hair hanging like a veil over its face and down its back. Not a scene from a children's story like Peter Pan, this was something altogether different. As fear and confusion coursed through him, the man instinctively recorded the encounter and shared it online, hoping to get some insights from the internet community. Predictably, opinions ran the gamut. Some folks were quick to label it a hoax, while others ventured into the realms of witches and supernatural entities. But here's the mystery. When you look closer, the reflection of this enigmatic presence can be seen in the car's rearview mirror. It's a hair-raising encounter that makes you question what might be lurking out there beyond your window late at night while you sleep. This footage was taken in a Catholic church where the congregation was having a service, but one person noticed something strange with the statue of Jesus on the cross. Initially, everything appears tranquil. The figure of Jesus remains in its customary pose, but then something unusual happens, something that challenges the boundaries of the ordinary. The statue's eyes begin to move. Did you catch it? A subtle, almost imperceptible shift in the statue's gaze. It's a moment that defies easy explanation, leaving those who witnessed it both curious and puzzled. For those present, this event blurred the line between the natural and the supernatural, stirring questions about just what happened. Was it a paranormal occurrence, or perhaps just a quirk of lighting and perspective? If you've ever doubted ghosts exist, perhaps this clip is for you. Can you see it? There's a small, translucent girl walking around the room. I'm not exactly sure what the spirit is doing, but it doesn't appear to be hurting anyone. One thing's been on my mind, though. Why would a spirit be roaming in such a place? What do you guys think is going on there? Kindly share your thoughts. How do you like your hot springs? How about this hot? No? Well, me neither. I've watched this video over and over and over and over, and I must say, I have no idea what's going on here. The last time I checked, clean water doesn't burst into flames no matter how hot it gets. So what could be wrong with this water? Well, we don't know. Some believe it's very contaminated and toxic. Some think it's laced with methane. Others think it might be a filter. We can't say for sure which it is, but if this dude really bathed in these toxic waters, then it's safe to say he needs a checkup, and not with a medical doctor, but with a shrink. With recent announcements in the USA about aliens, footage of possible sightings have been emerging, and this next clip is no exception. Have a look. In the clip, we see a young man moving up and about in his home. He steps out, and we see that his home is closer to the woods than it is to the city. Taking a critical look at the footage, however, we see what looks like a light source from a distance. As the camera stabilizes, we realize that it's no light source at all. Instead, it appears to be the head of some strange creature. The one recording calls out to it and asks what it wants, but his query goes unanswered. At this point, it's easy to tell that it's no ordinary person or creature. We're actually dealing with some sort of alien. The alien creature doesn't respond to the boy or move towards him. Instead, it walks away uninterested. Was it searching for a specific specimen that the young man didn't fit? Or could it have been deaf, explaining its lack of response to the shouting? Or am I simply overthinking this? Share your thoughts with me in the comments section.
What do you want? What the fuck? Why are you walking away? Where the fuck is it going? Holy shit. Holy crap, I haven't seen that fucking close before.
Now, we have had ghost encounters, mummies, cryptids, paranormals, and what have you, but I doubt any would compare to what I'm about to show you. If you don't have a strong stomach, I suggest skipping for the next few seconds. If you're good, take a look. A paranormal investigator was investigating the building when he came across what you see on your screen. Imagine walking into a room and seeing a woman tied up like this. Well, she's not exactly alive, but in an instant he believed that it was truly someone who'd been handcuffed there and left to die. Perhaps the victim of a kidnapping. After investigating it for a while, though, he starts to believe it's a prop. His investigation is, however, interrupted by a sound behind him. He was not alone.
Jeez!
Alright, no, I didn't do that. That sounded like it came from down the end.
There was someone in there with him, and whoever it was, the person was trying to escape the building. He tried to get out of the place and return with his team, but he ended up lost with a lot of spooky things happening around him. If the woman was indeed a prop or a doll, why then weird things happening in the building? Think about it. Yup, that's a creature standing in the dark with a pair of glowing eyes. It's definitely not human. It has extremely pale skin, and the outline of its head is shaped like a skeleton. It appears to be very tall, say about 8 to 9 feet. As you try to make sense of what you're seeing, the darkness hides most of the creature's body, leaving only its spooky outline against the night sky. What do you think this could be? Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Doing so lets you stay updated and allows us to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Now let's continue with the day's episode. Yes, that's an actual person trying to cross the Atlantic Ocean in inflatables. It's a human-sized hamster wheel. I'm not sure how he got the idea, but he really believes it can work. He was allegedly spotted 80 miles off the shores of Georgia, and guess where he was going? The United Kingdom. Yep, that's right. He believes this could get him there. Either we're undermining his ability to do this, or he really underestimated how much of a journey he was committing himself to. Fortunately, or unfortunately for him, authorities found him and took him off the waters. Do you guys think he could have made it? Tell us in the comments section. We've had weird trees in today's episode, but this next one is my favorite, and once you see it, you'll understand. As you can see, this tree doesn't look grotesque, nor does it look scary. Instead, it looks like one of my favorite mythological creatures of all time, a dragon. And what's more, you can actually try to kiss it. But how could a tree take the shape of a dragon? And no, this isn't a case of pareidolia, at least not for me. What could account for this tree's strange growth formation? All other trees in the area look normal. What if, and this is a big what if, but what if an actual dragon was cursed and transformed into a tree? I know it's a big stretch, but after everything we've seen on this channel, would you consider that an impossibility? Think about it. Two of my favorite words I would never thought I'd see together, a river and a wolf. But here I am about to show you footage of a river wolf. If my intro had you thinking we were going to see a giant canine with webbed feet, etc., etc., well, I apologize. But you have to agree the creature on your screen is quite the specimen. What you see on your screen is none other than the giant otter. Believe it or not, that creature is considered an apex predator in its region in the Amazon rainforest. It's capable of growing up to the length of 6 feet. It's a skilled hunter that's even capable of hunting down juvenile caimans. While smaller than alligators and crocodiles, caimans are no pushovers, and the fact that these creatures are capable of hunting them down makes them intriguing and dangerous at the same time. Have you ever encountered one of these creatures? Let us know in the comments section. Do you believe there might be smaller men out there? No, I don't mean dwarfs. If you don't, then this footage is for you. Did you see it? Yes, a small man peered from behind the tree and then disappeared when it felt like it was being watched. Little people have been a part of many folklore and traditions. Looking at this clip, I'm tempted to believe they're real. There's no way you're telling me this clip is edited or manipulated, or is it? Guys, tell me what you think. Personally, though, I think this is real, and I can't wait to check out the location. And of course, I'm not sharing the location with you guys until I've confirmed and seen them with my eyes. Wish me luck. This footage was taken back in 2012 by some fishermen who were on a commercial boat. They were headed out on a regular fishing trip, hoping to catch a lot of fish, but instead of the usual catch, they found something incredible. As they pull up their net, they discover a huge creature tangled inside, trying to break free. And to make things even more surprising, a human-like arm sticks out from the mass with webbed fingers. Now, I don't know of any edible fish with hands, which has me wondering what exactly the fisherman caught. Could it be one of the legendary mermaids or a siren species, or are we dealing with something entirely new? Our next footage was taken by some hikers in British Columbia as far back as 2013. Take a look. They were on a mountain when they noticed a dark-furred humanoid walking below from a distance. They believed they had seen Bigfoot. Looking at the footage, it has to be. But then again, there's only so much we can see. Skeptics who saw the footage believed it couldn't be declared as a Bigfoot, which comes as no surprise to us. After all, skeptics often attribute such sightings to misidentifications, shadows, or other natural phenomena. In many cases, what people believe to be Bigfoot turns out to be a bear, a person, or some other explainable phenomena. So the question remains, was this a genuine Bigfoot sighting, or could there be a more rational explanation for the figure the hikers saw? On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you, so please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Our next footage is one of the reasons why people believe that we are indeed in a matrix. A lighter was put on a table by a wall. The fire was lit, but when you looked at the wall, there was something strange going on. The shadow of the lighter was showing on the wall, but the fire was not. There could be a few explanations for such an occurrence. One possibility is that the lighting conditions and the camera angle created a situation where the shadow was more prominent than the flame itself. Shadows can sometimes be more defined depending on the light source and the angle. What are your thoughts? Do you like light shows? If you do, get ready to be amazed by nature's light show. What you're seeing is an incredible glow of bioluminescent water, an absolutely mesmerizing phenomenon. Bioluminescent plankton, or algae as they're called, are the ones behind this magical glow. Anytime night falls and darkness descends upon the coastal waters, this remarkable transformation takes place. These tiny organisms are endowed with the extraordinary ability to produce light through chemical reactions within their cells and cast a radiant glow upon the surface of the sea. With each gentle movement of the water, the bioluminescent organisms shimmer and sparkle, creating a mesmerizing display that captivates all who behold it. Beautiful, isn't it? Someone sent this stating he was a goat man, but once I saw the inscription, it hurt my heart because this person, you see, is every bit as human as you and I, only with a medical and birth defect. If you ever see someone like this, just know that they're actually suffering from microencephaly. For those unfamiliar with the term, microencephaly is a condition that affects the brain, particularly during fetal development. The term microencephaly literally means small brain. In individuals with microencephaly, the brain doesn't develop properly, resulting in a smaller than usual brain size. This condition can lead to various developmental issues and intellectual disabilities. Hopefully, this explains his behavior. Microencephaly can occur due to various factors, including genetic abnormalities, exposure to harmful substances during pregnancy, infections such as the Zika virus, or lack of proper nutrition during pregnancy. So guys, I know we love the supernatural and all related things, but sometimes it's just someone going through some birth defects. So be kind, okay? At least until we can prove that whatever you're thinking is the case. Now that's a wild wake-up call. Imagine unzipping your tent all ready to face the day, and boom! There's a deer right there giving you the morning stare down. This camper had the experience and didn't have to imagine it. Lucky guy. It's almost like Mr. Deer there is his campsite guardian waiting for him to join the great outdoors. What do you think of it? Spooky or cute? What creatures do you think we are looking at here? This footage surfaced back in 2018 from a farm in Indiana, and it shows what I can only describe as a hideous-looking creature. The body of the creature looks like that of a goat, but its long neck and strange face say otherwise. When this footage surfaced on the internet, people were quick to give their opinions about it, and given its appearance, most comments were pretty harsh. Some said the creature was the ugliest animal in the world. Others said it looked like the devil himself, while others called it the monster goat. But after a little research, we found out that this is not a monster goat or the devil himself. It's called a Damascus goat. They're a rare breed of goat with rather distinct features. This one, however, looks this way according to some because of selective breeding. Can the experts confirm or debunk this? Speaking of strange, take a look at this security footage. As you can see, it's night and the streets are empty. Then, from across the street, a dark entity is seen walking by, but then it stops midway and turns to look at something. Then a man in a hoodie appears, not knowing he's being watched. The hooded man goes to someone's car, opens it, and takes some stuff. While he busily searches the car, the entity starts to walk towards the thief in the car. Before he can get close, however, the man takes what he wants and proceeds to run away. And that's when things get odd, because the entity realizes it and also chases after him. This is such a strange situation. Through the whole ordeal, the man is not aware of the entity's presence. So what was that entity? Is it some sort of supernatural police? Did it catch up to the man? What did it do when it caught up with him? What if I told you that the world's strongest man has got nothing on the man I'm about to introduce? Think I'm joking? Well, take a look. Yup, that's a man carrying a rock that appears to have been hewn from a mountain or something of that sort. It's not every day you get to see someone carrying one of those, since heavy machinery is typically the appropriate thing to transport them. Could this be how the pyramids were built? Well, Julius doesn't think so, and I agree with him. And no, the stars didn't align and the world is not ending. I just think he looks too comfortable to be carrying something like this. It has to be a prop. There's no way this is real. If it was, it would have reflected in his movement. Either that, or he's so strong that he doesn't need to. What do you guys think? I know you're waiting for the next clip, but my new friend Bigfoot asked me to ask you if you have liked and subscribed. If you haven't, please do so now. Thank you. AI is everywhere now and involved in everything now that we basically can no longer imagine a future without some sort of AI. But is AI as safe as we think it is? Before you answer, watch this footage. Yes, those are AI robots sitting in a game. While many think this is cute and represents an advancement in the human race, you have to agree that it could be also dangerous. I mean, what if these things turn on us and start attacking? Who would be there to keep us safe? Venturing into an abandoned cave can indeed unleash surprises, and it sounds like this couple got more than they bargained for. They were on a hike in the mountains when they heard a noise coming from the cave nearby. Now, most folks call it a day, but not these two. They decide to soldier on. As they went further into the cave, the noise strangely stopped, but they still decided to check it out, and what they saw scared them out of the place. There, emerging from the darkness of the cave, was a creature with glowing eyes. It was very slender and tall and made a strange ticking sound. What could they have seen in the cave? Logically, there could be several explanations. It might be a creature native to the cave, perhaps a type of animal adapted to low-light conditions. Looking at its features, however, I'm pretty sure it's something sinister. Speaking of conspiracies, take a look at this footage from Utah. What comes to mind when you see this capture? And no, I'm not referring to the X trail in the sky, although that's also a tad suspicious. Look closely toward the middle. Do you see the dark being or creature there? Yep, the individuals who sent this in accidentally captured it and shared it online. Once they did, it didn't take long for another individual who had explored the area to share this footage. I don't need to tell you who this is, right? This big guy has apparently been living in and exploring the area. It's been captured one too many times by explorers, and it doesn't seem to care. It probably feels like, well, no one will believe those sharing the clips and footage because Bigfoots aren't real. Just like some of you are struggling to believe if this is real or not. So this next one was sent in by a man who heard a lot of commotion in his backyard and went to investigate. Take a look.
I hope not, because it's almost falling apart. It wouldn't be very safe, but I'm going to come out here and have a look around and see if any of the neighborhood kids are messing around or anything. I'll get quiet here for a second.
You saw it too, didn't you? There was a hidden figure on his roof. It appeared to be dark and humanoid. In fact, it was almost human if not for its dark skin et al. Many who saw this thought it might be a Bigfoot. but I disagree. I don't think it's large enough, even for a juvenile Bigfoot. If it was, I don't think the frame could have held it. Also, I haven't known Bigfoots to be that acrobatic, but, well, maybe that's just me. What do you guys think we could be dealing with here? In Georgia, a pair of famous YouTubers set out into the woods to investigate an old abandoned house. When they got there, the house was empty with not much to film, so they decided to look around. This led them to the lower part of the house. As they were there, they heard footsteps coming from the house above them, which was strange because they were the only ones present.
So that's a 1958 Coke bottle, right? What is that?
So they crawled out of there only to be met with silence and emptiness. Who was that third person they heard? Was it the ghost of the former resident of the house, or was it a spirit present? Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment? If you haven't already, it goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to today's episode. Have you seen a ladder take a walk? Well, if you haven't, today's your lucky day. Take a look. Yup, that's a ladder walking away. At some point, my assistant thought it was just the wind, but the wind won't move it in the way it did unless there was some invisible person working it out. We slowed the footage to try and see if there was any strings attached to any of the legs, but we couldn't find any convincing patterns that would establish it. We were left to accept that the ladder is indeed walking. How is it doing that? Well, we wish we knew. Perhaps some things are best left a mystery. The one thing that came to mind when I first saw this footage was a nearly headless Nick in the Harry Potter franchise. This man, however, appears to not have a head at all. How is this possible? Well, it's not. At least, it's not supposed to be. So what are we dealing with here? Well, either this is something supernatural or it's pretty cool and a neat trick. Personally, I don't think it's real, but one of the comments on the original post caught my attention. Yeah, she believes it might belong to a race of beings that are just like humans, but only headless. What do you guys think? So, someone sent us this video he had seen somewhere else asking if this was normal. He stated that he'd never lived in a place with snow and found it odd that snow could be rolled like this. He thought snow was supposed to be powdery and felt the government might be messing with our weather. While I don't deny my suspicions of the government messing with our weather, I don't think this is it. I did some digging around and confirmed what I already knew. This is actually possible as long as the snow is wet and sticky and not dry. As long as these conditions are met, you should be able to roll your snow. Unless, perhaps the government paid me to feed you this conspiracy. If you can believe that. Imagine being on a railway track and having a creature show up on it and refuse to move. This is what happened to these Russians who were simply going about their daily activities. We're not sure why the moose got on the track or why it's even refusing to move despite the loud horns, but you can't deny the fact that it's cute. If you were the one in charge of the train, what would you have done? Would you have been as patient as the ones in this footage, or would you have done something else? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Entering a cave and stumbling upon a pride of lions is not an everyday occurrence. It sounds like a scene straight out of a wildlife documentary. The image of these majestic creatures huddled up in a small cave opening is quite surreal. It certainly is a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence, and the one filming is very fortunate that the lions didn't see him as a threat. Even if they did, they chose to simply threaten him without attacking. Perhaps they were taking a nap after a substantial meal, or maybe they were simply not in the mood. Perhaps they also didn't want to move out of their comfort zone, as it looked like the cave offered a cool and sheltered spot for a rest. Have you ever had a stalker in your life? No? Take a look at this one. The footage starts with this innocent-looking woman walking into a building. Well, according to her, she went in through her garage, but stay focused. The garage isn't our primary objective here. A few seconds after she's entered, something steps out of the shadows, and we can barely see its dark limbs. It's almost as though it was contemplating whether to go in or not. But stepping away from the creature's intentions, we have to wonder, what exactly is that creature? What did it want, and why was it stalking the woman? Given the fact that this was posted online without any mention of an accident, we can only hope the woman is fine. But seriously, what is that? Do you believe in voodoo? No? Well, how do you explain this? Yes, that's an inanimate object levitating solely on the charms of those men jumping and dancing around it. I don't know whether they're praising or worshipping, but whatever it is, it's definitely got some power to it. It's like Harry Potter without wands. Blimey. While I do think there's some authenticity to these African religions, and this is definitely real, Julius thinks it might just be a hoax meant to draw unsuspecting individuals in. I don't think so, though, especially because he can't explain how it's a hoax, despite his big brains. What do you guys think, though? Real or fake? While we are trying to figure out the strange creatures and phenomena that plague our world, there are also those who choose to do strange things that leave us all shocked and questioning them. This footage was taken on a train. In the footage, we see a person in a costume and heavy makeup eating spaghetti on the floor. I mean, this is a train, and I don't even want to get started on how unsanitary that is. But what is wrong with this person? Could it be that he needs help psychologically, or is he just doing this for attention? Any New Yorker with an answer? Still on Bigfoot, we travel all the way to snowy Russia for our next footage. Take a look. Now, you may not understand what's happening, but the recorder of the footage decided to embark on a journey into the snowy night to prove to everyone that the Bigfoot that they had apparently been seeing was nothing more than a hoax. Once out there, however, he started to notice these strange prints in the snow. Although skeptical, he started to record just in case there was a Bigfoot, and that's exactly what he found. Some 2 kilometers from him, he saw a creature moving. Zooming in, he recorded what you see on your screen, but of course it's blurry due to how zoomed in the footage is. He truly believes he encountered a Bigfoot. Some have called the whole thing a hoax, stating that they couldn't understand how the first footage was as clear as day and the last one was as blurry as the dark night. Quite frankly, I know zooming in could do that to footage, but perhaps that's a convenient way to explain a hoax. What do you think? Did this Russian really encounter a Bigfoot, or is he playing mind games? These days, volcanic eruptions don't make the headlines as much as other natural disasters. Sure, we hear about volcanoes being active, puffing out some smoke now and then, but it rarely seems alarming. Some people even live on or around volcanoes because they don't seem to pose an immediate threat. But let's not forget that when these giants do erupt, they can be incredibly dangerous. Take a look at this bizarre footage. This volcano is erupting with lava pouring out. Thankfully, people seem to have gotten the memo and are keeping a safe distance. Cars are parked along the road, and you can see people out of their vehicles, some watching in awe while others around are running. Just because volcanic eruptions aren't frequently reported doesn't mean they aren't real and present danger. Unlike Bigfoot, which is more myth than reality, volcanoes are genuinely natural structures that can erupt in any moment. It's a sobering reminder of the power of nature and how unpredictable it can be. Before you come after me for the Bigfoot statement, please note that it was just a comparison. Someone on my team suggested that the clip could be fake, but I'll leave that to your discretion. And on that note, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode, and we can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.